And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we got the ridiculous mayor out there in Dolton, Illinois, Tiffany Henyard, who was exposed by, of all people, Mayor Lightfoot and her team. I wonder how much that investigation cost. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, tampon Tim Walz, stolen Valor. This guy is a giant red flag. A commie, got ties to China, stolen Valor. People in the state don't like him. I don't know what they were thinking in selecting this man. Minnesota? Why do you even need somebody from Minnesota when you're trying to get battleground states like Pennsylvania? You should have got the other guy, but he's Jewish, so that's not really going to work out too much in the Democratic Party right now for some reason. But we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, California Governor Gavin Newsome is threatening cities and towns and counties in the state if they don't do their part to clean up the homeless encampments. Well, maybe that should have been a priority 50 years ago or more. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the New York County mask ban sparked mass protest. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you have heard so far, if you enjoyed the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Man, we got a whole lot going on tonight. There is so much happening every single day. A lot of clips for you guys. I got some old clips from Tim Walz I've not shown. I got him talking about China. I got him talking about the whole stolen Valor thing. I got a little bit of everything going on. So shout out to you guys for being here, and I really, really appreciate y'all. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. So this will be available 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And of course, shout out to you guys for being the primary sponsor. Even if you're just watching nothing else, just watching the show helps me out tremendously. Subscribing, watching the videos helps me more than anything. So I really, really appreciate y'all. But also shout out to the other sponsors. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information. Their link will always be in the description, or just go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and I'll have articles for each video that I produce. And in the articles, you'll find sources from the left, from the right, from the politically agnostic, from local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it. As long as it's legal, it'll be right there on the front page of the website. Again, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Also, go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. And on the contact page, you'll find my email address, my SNML address, my UPS box, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X. All those links are right there on the contact page. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you are conversing with me on these interwebs or not, let's use some context clues. First of all right, if it's somebody talking about they got some Apple iTunes gift cards, they want you to be able to receive and read a number to them, and all kind of just random things, get rich quick scheme, Bitcoin, Forex, all this stuff. First of all, that's a scam in general. Like, you're not going to be on somebody's YouTube page leaving a comment under one of their videos And then the creator is like, hey, my friend, just send some money here and I will double it tomorrow. I promise I will. Do not believe anyone else because they will not do it like I can because I am the best at this here. I am the best. Look, I am ABL, okay? You see my name in my face. Don't be foolish, girl. Please, I better go. Give me that cards today. Listen, if you get caught up like that in 2024, at a certain point, you kind of are buying into it. You're buying into it. I know it's rough out here. I know it's kind of crazy with the economy. But please, 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 don't let my African cousins or my European cousins, because I got some Irish in me too, okay, don't let one of these Conor McGregor-looking, Ivan Drago-sounding individuals straight rob you of your hard-earned money. Don't nobody got time for that in 2024. We want to have all of our monies in our pocket. Bad enough the federales are taking our money, okay, gunpoint, bareface. Then we got to deal with the scammers online. Listen, I don't have time, okay? Please, I don't have time. Save your nonsense for the world out there. Okay, you want to be Bonnie. You want to have a what do they call it? Ponzi scheme. You want to have a Ponzi scheme. You want to be Bernie Madoff. I will Madoff you right back to Nigeria. Okay, shout out to the African dads. But we got a whole lot going on. I really, really appreciate y'all. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. You know what I'm gonna work on? I'm working on my I want to work on 2 accents, 2 impressions. I want to get my Eastern European, Russian, Ivan Drago, Vladimir Klitschko, Vladimir Putin, Vladimir Zelensky, just Vladimir in general. I want to get the Vladimir accent down, and then I want to get the UK hood South London accent down. Okay, if you got all these dudes named Idris coming to the United States portraying black drug dealers on TV better than we can do it as Americans, I should be able to go over there and portray one of their guys, what they call them, roadmen. I want to act in the movie as a roadman, so I got to get all my accents down. I got to get everything down. Now, coming back to America, New York City, I want to start here with the whole mask ban. I think the mask ban is hilarious. It's hilarious. It's the funniest thing in the world. It's funny seeing people come back to their senses. People came back to their senses from the mask thing. As we said from the beginning, it's nonsense. Listen, the mask didn't help you at all. It really didn't. Especially your Paw Patrol mask or the mask you got from Old Navy for next to $0. The blue mask you got in the pack, your PPE, that probably came from India with a bunch of dudes in tank tops with no shoes or socks on, putting their bare feet right on your mask. Okay, they're putting their bare feet right on your mask, and then you put it right on your face. Okay, right on your face out the pack. Just boom. All the bacteria, everything, microplastics, bacteria, germs. That could have been how C-19 was continuing. It might not have even been the whole thing about the virus itself just floating around. You got all kind of smuts and garbage in your face mask. You putting that right on your mouth like it ain't nothing. We knew from the beginning that the masks didn't work. And we knew, sorry for the microphone, RP to the headphone users, but we knew that it would cause problems with security. Listen, if you're able to go into a bank with a mask on, that's an obvious security risk. A guy can go in the bank, masked up already, and not be asked to leave, pass a note to the teller, and rob the bank. Easy. Now, he might not be able to get away on the outside, but he's able to actually do that inside and conceal his face. If he conceals his face and he robs the bank and gets away, you're not going to know who it is for the most part. So you just can't do this. And now, of course, we have all these riots going on, all the Israel-Palestine stuff happening, and all the hooligans involved got their face covered. You got these guys cosplaying as Klansmen. What's that? The Patriot Front, all these people. Okay, all these just weirdos. You have these guys masquerading around with Nazi paraphernalia with their mask on, covering their face, so you can't see who it is. Now, I was wondering in my previous video about the whole mask ban in New York, Nassau County, how are they going to enforce it? What they'll probably do is enforce it in a riot situation. But if you got a riot situation, then wouldn't you just arrest them on that? It's really weird. It really is. But let's go ahead and take a look at my man Armstrong Williams. If you don't know what that is, Armstrong Williams, he's been around for a long time, black conservative with a radio show. He's really good friends with Ben Carson, been around for a long time. So shout out to Armstrong Williams. He's talking about the whole mask ban in Nassau County, New York. And as I was saying before we get to it, it's funny because they told us that the world's going to end if we don't wear the mask. They told us that our mama was going to die if we didn't put on the mask. That's what they told us. But obviously, that's not the case. All right, let's get some sound and let's let it roll.
New York recently voted to implement a ban on masks in public. Yes, masks. Many across the country have become concerned since the October 7th attacks against Israel, as pro-Palestinian and pro-Hamas agitators have taken to the streets to commit vile anti-Semitic attacks and promote terrorism. Many are concerned that terrorists are hiding within the ranks of these agitators, causing even more problems. In addition, a serious issue arises with these riots, as the rioters can assault people and destroy property and evade the consequences, since the victims won't be able to identify them because they're wearing their masks. So with a mask ban in place, police can identify and arrest these people before they commit any violent act in the future. Kudos to Nassau County for being one of the few counties in New York with some sensibility. I'm Armstrong Williams.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, this should never have been public policy from the beginning. I saw the downfalls right away, and shout out to Carolyn. I got to put some respect on Armstrong Williams' name. He also is the co-owner of the Baltimore Sun. The man we just saw is the co-owner of the Baltimore Sun. But this was something that anybody could have seen. From the beginning, I'm like, okay, you're going to be able to just cover your face up and commit crime if you want to. You're not really going to do anything to help. You're going to have other concerns. You're wearing this mask all day. Who knows what kind of bacteria is on the mask as you're putting on your face, and then you're breathing out bacteria and you just letting it stay there. You're not letting the natural aspiration process happen. It just didn't make any sense from the beginning. A lot of the things that we do in this country and in this world are it's just illogical. And when people in power have the ability to make you do it, you have no say-so over the matter, or you do have a say-so, then that becomes civil disobedience, which is a whole different story. People getting locked up for refusing to put a mask on. I'm not quite sure that's happened, but I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if right now somebody has been locked up for refusing to wear a face mask, which is the correct thing to do. Meaning, not wearing the mask is the correct thing to do. Let me see some of this video right here. This is some more of the whole mask thing out there in New York. Let me just skip forward a little bit. There we go. Yeah, they had, it was a protest. Somebody got arrested. There was all kind of stuff going on because people did not want the masks to be banned, because the media did a really good job at convincing people that if they don't wear a mask, they're going to die. If they don't wear a mask, their meemaw, the mamaw, the pawpaw going to die. That's what they were convinced. But we all know, everyone watching me, I would presume, knows that the two biggest risk factors for COVID-19, if you're really, really big, like obese or elderly. But how about this? Can I just say this piece? I just thought of this right now. This is like a mind-blowing, just brilliant idea I came up with right now. If you are very old and or if you're very obese, you're at a high risk factor anyway for anything. You're 95 years old. Oh, I mean, you're a high risk factor for anything. A cold, a trip and fall can be very devastating. If you're 500 pounds at 13 years old and 5 foot tall, you don't have much time left unless you lose some weight. So regardless of what the actual ailment is, you're going to be at high risk regardless of what. But let me just watch this here with you guys.
You should be wearing a mask.
In a contentious meeting, Nassau County voting 12-0 to approve a ban on the use of masks in public. All 7 Democrats on the legislature abstained. In a statement, County Executive Bruce Blakeman writing, "Unless someone has a medical condition or religious imperative, people should not be allowed to cover their face in a manner that hides their identity when in public." Nassau County legislator Mossy Phillip introduced the bill. The Republican legislator says the ban has to do with hiding your identity, saying many of the attacks committed against the Jewish community recently are done by those who conceal their identity. She spoke to Fox 5 a few weeks ago.
Jewish people being attacked by face-covered protesters. I'm calling them terror supporters, to be honest, intimidating and physically assaulting.
So Mossy Phillip, that's the woman, I think she's a congresswoman. I'm not really sure, like a local congresswoman. Yeah, I think she's a local congresswoman. She's the one who drafted the actual bill to ban the face masks. Because, and when the thing that they're saying is that these have been used in attacks against Jewish people in New York.
And physically assaulting our Jewish community.
Phillip says the policy is meant for those who intend to cause harm, leaving it up to police discretion. The piece of legislation drawing mixed reaction.
I think it's ludicrous to try and push something like that through.
How are you going to know?
I see one side going with masks and lighting things on fire, and I see another side going with flags, no masks, right? And just fighting for what they believe in.
The New York Civil Liberties Union blasted the Nassau County legislature after they passed the bill, writing, "Nassau County's mask ban is a dangerous misuse of the law to score political points and target protesters, barring people who speak out from protecting themselves and their identities."
But look, watch this. Now, you see this mask? Okay, so they got a picture of the person talking about this whole thing. Look at this mask. Basically, you have a t-shirt cut up and you made it into a mask. That ain't doing nothing at all. You might as well just use that for a shop towel. Use it for a microfiber cloth to clean off your kitchen countertop, kitchen island. Scrub the floors with that. You're trying to put it on your face. It's not going to do a thing. Okay? It's not going to do a thing. But people, I'm telling you, that people have been so afraid, so scared to leave out of their home without a mask on. So afraid.
Identities puts their health and well-being in danger, particularly people with disabilities, people of color, and those with unpopular views.
And I don't like how they just always put, okay, you're a person of color like it's a disability. They always do this. They say disabled and then right next to it, person of color. You see this? Particularly people with disabilities and then people of color. It's like, is that what being black is? You just disabled? For real? I mean, I woke up this morning very clear of mind. I know what's going on. I'm not disabled at all. Shout out to everybody that is. If you're disabled, shout out to you. But just because I'm black don't mean I'm also disabled. These people are so weird. And ultimately, what they want to do is be able to loot and carry on without being identified, without anyone knowing who they are. They want to be able to commit crime while obfuscating their identity. That's all they want to do. And of course, there's a fear. And they play on the fear to be able to go out there and commit their crimes. Yeah, so I'm glad the mask has been banned out there in New York. They said $1,000 fine or a year in jail. But you probably won't be no penitentiary time or jail time. It'll probably be a fine at best. And they're probably going to enforce it during situations where you got some back and forth contentious stuff happening. Okay, that's probably what's going on. Now, here's the meeting in which the young lady right here, as you can see, got kicked out. Lady right there on the far left-hand corner.
I want to speak very clearly about who this bill will target. Because it's very clear that you have chosen to participate in a culture war without recognizing are feeding right into a very dangerous demon. I will continue to speak because you have let
officers. Would you help this?
Got somebody hemmed up. Got the golf girl. Hey, the golf girl. I don't know what she was trying to do. Was she trying to fight the speaker? Trying to fight somebody else? Somebody got her hemmed up.
You have let.
Boom, arrested.
Officers, would you help this young lady? She seems unable to
Again?
leave the podium.
Again? No, Legislator Copal, you allowed the woman in the front, the doctor, the lawyer, to speak beyond 3 minutes, and you did not ask the police to remove her. You did not ask the police. You're doing what she's saying that you're doing. You're not applying the law equally and fairly.
Everybody, we're taking a recess.
I mean, they can't even stop protesting, quote unquote, for a minute. It's like, okay, listen, you're in this place, have a little bit of decorum. You're not just outside on the street with a chair, get ready to hurl it through a bar window. All right, just settle down for a minute and speak your piece. But of course, they got to get arrested. That's their whole thing for a cause that's meaningless. It's meaningless. Oh, okay. Before we move on from the mask thing, this is funny. Somebody is trying to promote a protest against mask bans. Okay, let's look at it right here. Are you concerned, nigh disturbed by mask bans taking effect in Nassau County, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, with threats in other municipalities? Do something. Push back. Mask up. Show up. Fill the room. Stack the phone lines. Don't let Los Angeles ban masks too. Tomorrow. So they're going to show up, okay? They ready. They're going to, hey, we're here, we're queer, and we're going to make a difference. That's what they want to say. All right, now let's hear straight from them.
I'm out here at the LA Department of Public Health asking people, why do you wear a mask? My name is Elle, and I mask because we are all one infection or reinfection away from lifelong disability with conditions, post-viral conditions like ME/CFS, POTS, fibromyalgia, MCAS, and so many more.
First of all, I can barely hear you because you have a mask on and it's muffling your voice. Second of all, let's read her sign here. Now, I don't know what language this is. I speak English pretty well. I speak a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of French, some other languages, a couple words. But what does this say? Are you ready? If you knew what I know about long COVID and me/CFS, what does that mean? If you knew what I know about long COVID and me/CFS, what's that? Anybody that's a Gen Z, a 20-year-old, do you know this new word, this new acronym? What is this? Anyway, if you knew what I know about long COVID and me/CFS, you would be wearing masks instead of banning them. Somebody said, hey, J Flow, wokish. That's a new language. Hey, J Flow, I got to use that. The language that they speak is wokish. Brilliant. But I'm going to let her continue.
My name is Jude. I mask because I'm in remission for leukemia, and I'm not looking to get cancer again. That was not a fun time.
Hello, my name is Dick Swagger. I mask to protect myself and my community, and long COVID disproportionately affects queer, Black, Indigenous, Brown community. So why would you not?
Your name is what now? I'm not going to replay that, but y'all heard it. We all heard it. I'm going to just press forward here.
Thank you.
I mask to protect myself and my community and to resist fascism.
Why do I mask? As simple as possible. I don't want to harm those around me, and I don't want to lose more of my own life. It's simple as that.
My name is Heather, and I mask for myself and my daughter so that we don't get long COVID, strokes, heart attacks, anything awful that can be caused by COVID, and also to protect everybody around us because it's really important to care for everybody.
My name is Joaquin. Masks save lives. It's all about community care. It's all about protecting our friends, our loved ones, our neighbors. Mask up. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jamie, and I mask because it's not a choice between convenience and collective care. My confidence and security comes from the fact that we care for each other and in alignment with my Jewish values of bettering the world for everyone.
Whoa.
My name is Babs, and I mask because the science is clear. Masks work, they prevent disease,
History will look back upon those who opposed masking, if not recommended to ban it, in the same way that we look back upon those who eschewed hand washing.
Okay, there's a lot going on. So the previous person, I don't know what gender that was. I don't know. I'm looking at Rosie O'Donnell, but I'm hearing Lenny Dykstra. I don't know what's happening. But then you have the woman right here with a flag of some sorts, some sort of flag. It appears to be the Palestinian flag. There's a picture of Anthony Fauci with his mask on, and the words on this flag say, "We are the wayside." Again, wokish. What do you mean, we are the wayside? What does that really mean? What do you mean when you say that? What does this flag mean? The symbolism, I don't understand.
Cleaning water. Cleaning air is the clear next step to human health.
I mask because I want to preserve my health and my community's health for what's about to come.
I'm Nick, and I mask because COVID is a mass disabling event, and we protect us.
My name is Minchi Murakami, and I mask because it's my right to protect my health and the health of my loved ones. And Karen Bass, this is part of my face. You want to take the mask? Take my face. Rip it off!
Oh man. I was not ready for, oh my God, man. Nah, don't do that no more. Oh my gosh. Yo, stop, man. Hey, oh boy, man, the internet is crazy. The internet is nuts. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that is why I need to wear my mask. My man right here has on the aspirator. What you better go work on cars? You better go work in a plant? You better go melt some steel? What are you doing? You better go shoot some bad guys in The Division? You better play video game? What is going on? Are you going to a convention? Are you going to a con? What is happening, man? The anime voice and everything. Yo, that accent was out of this world. And he came up aggressive. That was crazy. That was totally crazy. So yeah, shout out to him. Hold on. Can I get that one more time?
My health and my community's health for what's about to come.
I'm Nick, and I mask because COVID is a mass disabling event, and we protect us.
My name is Minchi Murakami, and I mask because it's my right to protect my health and the health of my loved ones. And Karen Bass, this is part of my face. You want to take the mask? Take my face. Rip it off!
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so he's not really a fan of Karen Bass. As the mayor of Los Angeles, he's not really a fan of Karen Bass. So shout out to him. He's like, yo, you want to, hey, what did he say? Come and take it. That's crazy. My man said, come and take the mask. Anyway, now speaking about people in power, officials, those who are supposed to be doing things, here's your man Joe Biden chilling on the beach. Yeah, hanging out. I mean, they pretty much gave him the rest of the presidency off. Like, hey, man, look, just go down to Delaware, Rehoboth Beach, hang out with the Cadillac. Just do that, man. Like, this man, if he sleeps a little bit too long, hey, man, it's kind of at that point, it's a roll of the dice. If he sleeps a little bit too long in that chair, it's a roll of the dice. They probably got a heart monitor on his wrist or on his chest or something to make sure that everything's all right. And if it gets a little bit too low, they give him a little shock, like a dog collar to get him back up. So yeah, my man right here, straight sleep on the beach. Sleep. That's pretty much what he does now. Goes to the beach on the weekends. He'll leave from DC Friday at 12 noon and come back Monday at the same time, 12 noon. Couple events, couple shaking hands, and that's pretty much it. And that's the president. They're telling you pretty much that the president is meaningless, at least in the sense of what they're doing right now with the Democratic Party. The person they put in there is meaningless. And they usually want it to be that way because they want the ancillary people to actually run the show. They want you just to be a figurehead, to be out there and do PR like a company's CEO. A lot of times the CEO is hired by the board to just go out there and talk to the media and just do certain tasks. But the real decisions are not handled by that person, depending upon how the company is operating. And that's how they want the presidency to be. But Trump, as president, wanted to actually lead, and he did that rather than just being led by those in the background. So then when they say, okay, you got Project 2025, what's that got to do with Trump? If it didn't come from Trump himself, then don't take that seriously at all. That's just what some people may have as a vision for the future. That doesn't mean that's what Trump's going to do, because he's not the kind of guy that's going to allow himself to be led by others. But this guy right here, yeah, he's pretty much just in there, a figurehead on the beach, pretty much one heart rate drop away from it being a wrap. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that helped me out tremendously. Now, speaking of presidents, we got Trump saying that he is agreeing to debate Kamala on certain days. And we got a lot of Kamala stuff. Oh, my goodness. Listen, before I get to my man Trump, Kamala is an idiot. Kamala is a moron. And I don't know how you get to be so uninformed as a college graduate. You have advanced degrees. Let me see did she go to Harvard or something? Like, hold on. Let's look at her education, shall we? Let's see what kind of degree she has. Okay. So where are we at? She went to Howard for her bachelor's, for her undergrad. Then she went to University of California, Hastings College of the Law. So she's an attorney, of course. So you have high education, but why don't you know basic things? We're going to get to that in a minute. I promise we will. The cloud computer thing was one of the craziest. Talking about some, it used to be in the file cabinet, but now it's in the cloud above us. It's like the cloud that we store our data in is just somewhere up there. That's where it is. Okay. All right. It's just like in air. All right. Not this big, hulking, power-hungry data center, not servers or nothing like that, just in the sky, like pixie dust, fairy dust. Anyway, let's look at my man Trump talking about agreeing to debate this woman. And can you imagine the debate? Oh, my goodness. Trump against Kamala. She's going to get stomped into the greatest wine you ever had in your life. Into a full barrel of wine she'll get stomped into verbally on a debate stage, and not from attacks or barbs, but intellect versus a lack of intellect. That is what it'll be. But let's hear from Trump.
Important to have debates. And
all right, get the sound right, and then let's let it roll in the picture.
With all of that being said, I think it's very important to have debates. And we've agreed with Fox on a date of September 4th. We've agreed with NBC, fairly full agreement, subject to them, on September 10th. And we've agreed with ABC on September 25th. So we have those three dates, and those networks, they're very anxiously awaiting that date and those dates. So we have September 4th, September 10th, and September 25th. We have spoken to the heads of the network, and it's all been confirmed, other than some fairly minor details. Audience, some location, which city would we put it into, but all things that will be settled very easily. I think it'll be very easy. The other side has to agree to the terms. They may or may not agree. I don't know if they're going to agree. She hasn't done an interview. She can't do an interview. She's barely competent, and she can't do an interview. But I look forward to the debates, because I think we have to set the record straight.
Right on, right on. And she doesn't do any interviews. And at a certain point, this is the repeat of Joe Biden. It might even be worse. Joe Biden did do some speaking, but he spoke from the basement. He didn't campaign. He was just in his house. Oh, the excuses is COVID, whatever. That was the excuse back then in 2020 to stay in his house. Now, what's the excuse for Kamala? They're talking about, oh, she's a sitting vice president. She's busy with what? What is Kamala Harris busy with? The borders are, and the borders wide open. What responsibility do you have? What you gonna do? Like some kind of some kind of random political event, some kind of dinner, I'm sure that dinner you were supposed to go to that was scheduled 2 years ago can be postponed because you're trying to become the president. So you can go out and do your events at these music concerts that are masquerading as events for Kamala. You could do that and that's fine, but let's get an interview as well. Let's do that. Now, here's another clip. Let me see if this is what I think it's going to be.
I think that our country is right now in the most dangerous position it's ever been in from an economic standpoint, from a safety standpoint. Both gangs on the street and, frankly, gangs outside of our country in the form of other countries that are, frankly, very powerful. They're very powerful countries, and we don't know what we're doing. We have leadership that has no clue how to handle them or how to handle any other situation. We have a lot of bad things coming up. You could end up in a depression of the 1929 variety, which would be a devastating thing, took many years, took decades to recover from it. And we're very close to that, and we're very close to a world war. In my opinion, we're very close to a world war. We have people that don't know how to handle it. They're not respected. All over the world, they're laughed at. And we can't have that. Most dangerous period of time I've ever seen.
And he's right about that, because the world sees what's happening over here in the States. You know, people, for some reason, you guys don't think this way. Obviously, you guys are very smart, but a lot of people, a lot of normies out there that don't know anything about the world, they think that everybody else who does not live in the U.S. or maybe Europe, they live in grass huts, no Wi-Fi, no TV. They don't know what's happening in the world. Okay, but no, that's not true. They know what's happening. They know exactly what's going on. All these migrants coming over, they know exactly what to do. They got tutorials on TikTok about how to invade the country. What parts of the border are easy to get past, where to go along the whole route coming from Panama, all of that. Giving you step-by-step instructions from foreign countries. So, and they come with money. Paying these coyotes, talking about $5,000 to $10,000 US for one trip, and they come a lot of times 2 and 3 times. They have money. They're not dumb. They know exactly what's going on. So when the world sees what's happening right now, this dumpster fire with the president who's running for office drops out but doesn't step down from the presidency, he's weak. He's weak. He knows he can't run anymore. He knows he's done. He's not there mentally. He's not a true leader. Then the vice president is a moron, so she's weak as well. Their whole party is weak and fractured and lying. They know the media apparatus lies, so they see it as a vulnerable situation. So why not have the destroyers go off the coast of Alaska? Why not? What you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna spin a spy balloon over your forehead. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. You're weak. You're not really a true leader. And that's what they see right now. So it's very dangerous because of that reason. So Trump was 100% correct. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, this is in Phoenix, Arizona. There's a Kamala rally. Okay, and you can kind of see the crowd. They're saying it's a really big crowd size. I'll play the video while the sound is off. You can see the top areas up here are blocked off. I think it's like top 2 rows or 2 sections. They're blocked off with see up here, there's nobody up there and no seats. Everybody's like pushed down. It's still a decent crowd size, but it's not as big as what the media may want you to believe. Okay, because they have a lot of it blocked off. So if it was not blocked off like that, it might appear to be more sparsely populated. So I think what's happening here with these rallies, as I was saying earlier, it's a way to make Kamala look like she's more popular than what she is, to make the crowds look bigger than what they are. Or even if it is a big crowd size, it's misleading because you got Meg the Stallion, and then there was somebody else. I think it might have been in Wisconsin somewhere. Bon Iver. Who is that? Bon Iver, Bon Iver. I'm old. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. If it's one of you Gen Z groups or something like that, I don't know nothing about it. Like I said before, if you put a gun in my head and say, hey, ABL, give me 3 Taylor Swift songs, I'm gonna go to Glory, man, because I don't know. So Bon Iver, Boniver, I don't know who that is at all. I have no idea. But apparently that person was the guest music star at a Kamala rally. All right. Democrats are so silly. What they'll do is give a free Taylor Swift concert, have Kamala speak at the end, and then say it was a successful Kamala Harris rally. No, it was a successful free Taylor Swift concert with Kamala being the guest star. All right. Bone Iverson. Yeah, nobody knows who that is. Hold on. Okay. Come on, man says Bon Iver's on the Kanye album. I had no idea. But he was at a Kamala rally recently as well. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. And I think we have a nice young lady from Phoenix giving their 2 cents as a Kamala supporter. Let's hear from her. I'm sure this would be very pleasant and nice with no cursing.
To be, cocky, but I'm optimistic.
I've always been a supporter of, she's a woman, and she's black, and she'll be the first president candidate that I think she will win. And like I said, I'm all about equal access and equal women health choice.
We're gonna win.
All righty, so there we go. That's a mighty fine hairstyle. Mighty fine. I'm envious. My hair departed many moons ago, and even when I did have hair, I couldn't get anything beyond like a quarter inch of growth. Like it just wasn't happening. So this right here, yeah, I wish I could be 65 years old with such a glorious mane of hair. But anyway, that's some people from the Kamala rally in Arizona giving their 2 cents. So shout out to them. Okay, that's your right to vote. Vote for whoever you want to vote for. Your hairstyle too. Hey, I'm envious of your hairstyle. So shout out to you for that. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Now, and RIP to the headphone user. Sorry, this is Aiden Ross. Now, Aiden Ross, if you guys don't know, let me show you a picture just so you can understand who I'm talking about. Because if you're my age or older, or maybe even a little bit younger, you may not know who Aiden Ross is, but Aiden Ross is very, very influential, a big streamer. I'm sure he's a many times over multi-millionaire. I'm 100% sure of it. 100%. Aiden Ross and Kai Cenat and I Show Speed, these guys are rolling their money. Big time streamers on the internet. Now, here is Aiden Ross with Trump after Aiden Ross gifted Trump the Cybertruck from Tesla with a custom wrap that shows the assassination attempt and the fist pump afterward, right? So this particular picture, this stream, hundreds of millions of views. It was a smash. It was so big that Kamala's team allegedly has been calling all the streamers, and they're all not interested. I don't want to do it. I'm not interested in politics. Leave me alone. Tell Secret Service, stop calling my phone. They don't want to do it. Nobody's interested in doing a stream with Kamala. So if you see somebody do a stream with Kamala, you already know what happened. There was a big bag of money that got put on the table, and they said, all right, cool. That's what happened. And I saw a post where a male adult star got an email from Kamala's team to put out anti-Trump content. So sometimes when you see stuff on the internet, it's not really what you think. You may think someone has genuine feelings about a thing, but really they were paid to say a certain thing. That's the only reason why they said it. So here's Aiden Ross. Now, this is Aiden Ross reacting to the news, talking about his interview, talking about him, trashing him. All right, let's, and again, please, RP to the headphone users on this one.
Bro,
now,
these
I
bitches,
don't know
bro.
who on the campaign thought it was a good idea.
It was
And I'm sorry for the cursing, but Aiden Ross, he's young and he's turned up to the maximum.
an amazing idea. Broke the internet, bro. More than all your press, bro. Fuck your news station. It's ass. Nobody watches that shit anymore, bro. Respectfully, nobody watched that shit anymore.
To have this guy at Mar-a-Lago, and the guy gives him a Rolex watch and
yeah, I did, bitch. So what?
A new Tesla that's all wrapped in I mean, this is really. I mean, I know we're all tired of the weird thing, but this is wacko.
Wacko, yeah. Somebody got to. Oh, never mind. Why are y'all saying GG's to Twitch? What did I say there? What the fuck did I say there, bro? That was so bad. What the fuck did I say? This bitch trying to come at me. I clapped this bitch back.
I'm sorry for the cursing. I really am.
I don't give a fuck how old she is, bro. No, I don't give a flying fuck. No, they're mad because I got Trump on my platform and all these hating news stations couldn't do it after like 60 years, bitch. 60 years, you couldn't get him? I got him in like 1 year.
So yeah, that's Aiden Ross. Now, through all the cursing, I like what he said there because what he is, maybe he already knew, as most of us do. But if he didn't know, what he's realizing that the media is full of it. They'll say anything just to promote whatever they want to promote, but they're not really about the reality of the situation. And they don't allow opposing views. They just want one narrative to be out there. All right. And he understands how jealous the old media are of the new media. Oh, yeah. Remember, there was an event at the White House during Trump, and he invited old media and new media people, like influencers and whatnot. They got invited to this particular event. And it was tension between the old guys and the new guys. It was tension. Okay, because the old guys, they're used to one way of doing things. Working for a company, you might go company to company, and that's fine if you want to do that. But their message is curated. They can't really say what they want to say. They can't go too far off the reservation. They got to pretty much do whatever the bosses tell them. They got to read from a script. They're going to be right here in the box with nobody else around, or it might be a panel, and they're going to read a teleprompter. They're going to go off certain cues. They'll be trained to speak and behave and act a certain way. But the guys on alternative media are not adherent to that, so they could do whatever they want. And there's a level of jealousy because a lot of us are very successful, more successful than the company guys. So there's tension there. So he's able to see that as we all see it. We all know what's going on. All right. Now, Kamala. Oh, my goodness. I got to get into Kamala. I got to, hold on. I got to get into Kamala here because she is a stone cold moron. Stone cold. Now, this is an older clip of her and Angela Rye. And Angela Rye's asking Kamala, hey, who's your favorite rapper alive? And let's hear what the answer is. Best rapper alive. That's what the question was. Let's get into it.
Best rapper alive.
Tupac.
He's not. You said he lives on.
Well, not a lot. I know. I keep doing.
You said. Listen, West Coast girls think Tupac lives on. I'm with you. So Tupac, keep going.
Keep doing that. Who would I say? I mean, there's so many. I mean, you know, there are some that I would not mention right now because they should stay in their lane. But others I
know what that means. I want to know who one of those are.
Keep moving.
Okay,
Keep moving, Angela.
All right. That was not supposed to be a stumper either. What about best rapper alive?
So, look, man, it's okay to not know who rappers are. I promise it's okay. You might not like rap, Kamala Harris. That's totally fine. But don't lie and say that you know so many. Why would you lie like that? Just say, hey, I don't know what's going on nowadays. I play, a lot of classical music. Just say whatever it is. Just be real. I don't like the fake stuff. And if you're going to be fake, at least let it be believable. Give me something. Do a little bit of research. Do something if you're going to be fake, or just be real. And Tupac, that's her answer to everything. She said Tupac when she was asked who she was listening to in college. Now, she was in college in the late 80s. Pac didn't come out until the 90s, like 1991, 92. Okay, and he wasn't the Pac that a lot of people know until like 94, 95 when he got locked up and came home and went to death row for like a year and a half, and then he got killed in 96. She'll just say that name because it's a popular name, and she lived in Oakland for a while, which is where Tupac came after he was in New York growing up in Baltimore. He was from New York, went to Baltimore, as an adult came to the West Coast, and then Tupac Shakur was born. So that's her answer for everything. Goofy, a liar. Why do that? Just say you don't like rap. That's fine. That's totally fine. Listen, if somebody asks me, hey, ABL, who's your best female, who's your best white female pop singer right now? I don't know. I don't know who any pop singers, black, white, Puerto Rican, Candy Strike. I don't know nothing. Okay, I'm gonna talk about Dolly Parton. Yeah, let's do Dolly Parton. Jolene. Oh, is that country? That don't count? Hey man, I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, let's move on. Now, Kamala has been accused of recycling a speech. She used it at one event and then used it again. All right, check it out.
It really is good to be back in Wisconsin. It's so good to be back in Michigan. Listen, let me tell you, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. And listen, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. I took on perpetrators of all kinds. I took on perpetrators of all kinds and had a summer job at McDonald's. I had a summer job at McDonald's.
She can't talk from her.
When I say, so hear me
She can't talk.
when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. I know Donald Trump's type. And are we ready to fight for it? Are we ready to fight for it? It really is.
The ending with the are we ready to fight for it? Come on, man. So I mean, Democrats, that's the best y'all got. That's the best y'all got. I swear I see better speakers just out in the street preaching. That's the best y'all got to become the president? Really? Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, here was a funny one. Now, this is Kamala charging an electric vehicle. Let's watch this.
See, it's plugged in, so it's plugged into just a normal electric socket, right?
Yes, normally it's a 240 volt, but you can go ahead and plug in and
okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we are.
That's it.
And there's no sound or fume.
There is nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
so
all there
for
is
all of
to
us
it.
who are used to
Every morning
filling our tank, you usually can smell it and you can hear it. You can hear the gust.
Kamala, I hold your hand as I say this. I don't mean this I don't mean this maliciously, but you're not fueling the electric vehicle. Okay. All you got to do is just plug them on in there and walk away. You're not at a gas pump right now. You're at an electric station. Okay. That's how that works. You just plug it in, boop, and just let it sit. There's not going to be any gas and fumes because you're not putting gas into this electric vehicle. Okay?
Whistling sound?
Right.
None of that.
None of
so
that.
how do I know it's actually working?
It is. So typically, once you wave the card, it's actually charging. So
But how would I know that? Tell me how I would know that.
So typically, excuse me.
Yes.
So typically, you come in, you wave this card,
Yeah.
and then what it would do is it would authenticate, and then the light turns green.
See, it's plugged in.
I mean, you don't know how to. It's like a phone. You know, you just plug them on in there at the bottom, and then you might see like a little notification, a little buzz. Oh, it's charging. It got X amount of time left. It's the same thing with a car. I promise, Kamala, it's the same thing with a car. Plug them on in there, boop, walk away, and that's it. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, you don't got to hold it flying around exactly. You don't have to hold it. It's not a gas pump. All right. Even with a gas pump, you could just kind of put the latch on and walk away. But I don't know, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. You're not very bright. And everyone can't be the sharpest knife in this drawer. It's not possible for everybody. If everybody was a rocket scientist, then it wouldn't be special to be a rocket scientist. However, can we get somebody with a little bit more common sense in there, perhaps? I guess not. I guess not. Now, here's more.
Because when we think about the strength of our democracy, you know, I think that there's a duality to the nature of democracy. When it's intact, oh, it's so strong in terms of what it does to uphold and protect individual rights and freedoms. So strong in its nature. And it's very fragile. It will only be as strong as our willingness to fight for it. Because when we...
All right. So, I mean, some say she looked like she might have been kind of drunk in this particular thing here. I don't know. But I hope that you guys don't want 4 more years of that. I hope you guys don't want that. The duality of nature and the complexity and the passage of time and we're not, what was that? Burdened by what has been. What was that line she always uses? That's her. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Now, here's a pretty good clip. Let's check this out.
My mother, who raised me and my sister, was a proud woman. She was a brown woman.
She was an Indian woman.
She was a woman with a heavy accent.
That was Indian?
She was a woman who many times people would overlook her or not take her seriously.
Because she was Indian?
Because of her accent.
Because she was Indian? Why is she not saying she's Indian?
Hey, man, you cannot let the cat out the bag, man.
Raised me and my sister, was a proud woman. She was a brown woman.
She was an Indian woman.
So you can't let the cat out the bag, man. Just let her kind of be racially ambiguous. Okay, I'm Indian, I'm black, I'm this, I'm that. Yeah, just let her do that, man. So that's pretty much what's happening right now. Shout out to you. Shout out to the man with the cameo from the bottom. All right. Oh, street interviews. These are good. Some of these are really good. Shout out to my man,
Donald Trump.
I'm not sure who this presenter is, but shout out to him. There's a name from TikTok on here, but I'm not sure if that's him or not.
Trump or Kamala Harris?
Kamala Harris. You don't want Donald Trump. He'll just cause riots. And Kamala Harris is a normal woman. She's not a thug or a gangster.
Do you think Donald Trump's a thug?
Yeah, he's a thug. He's got, 35 counts of whatever it is.
Whatever it is, okay. 35 counts of whatever. 35 shoulder shrugs.
He thinks he can be pardoned from all of it and run for president again, which the first time, he wasn't even president the first time. I mean, it was Hillary Clinton, and they kept her on the down low.
And what do you think about the stock market crashing right now under Biden and Harris?
Well, that's the whole thing. That was not Biden's situation. That was all Donald Trump.
Right now is because of Donald Trump?
It's all because of that. The reason why it's going down is because of Donald Trump. And it's going to do it again if another riot comes out again.
And where do you get your information from?
I get it from the news. CNN, whatever, Channel 31, Channel 2.
Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
All right. So there he votes. He lives among you. That's one of you guys' nephew right there. Okay, getting chicken tendies sent straight to the basement. That's him. He will be voting. So I hope that there are more of you guys out there than there are of him. That's what I hope. That's my hope for this election. Let's keep on moving here. Okay, we got somebody already unhinged. Already starting the video immediately unhinged.
Piece of shit. That felon doesn't belong in the people's house.
Was he a felon?
He's a felon. He's a fucking convicted felon.
No, he's not.
Change my mind.
Kamala's a felon. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Biden dropped out, buddy. I don't know if you saw the news. Okay, yep. That right there is a typical liberal appropriate reaction. The middle finger.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
How is that disrespectful?
It's disrespectful. Using the woman's first name, but you use his last name.
Using a woman's first name is disrespectful?
Yes.
In what world?
This world, in the United States.
The United States isn't a world, though.
Mr. or Mrs.
So you want me to call her Harris?
Yes.
So calling a woman by her first name is disrespectful.
Be consistent.
You want me to do Donald or Kamala?
Donald or Kamala, Trump or Harris.
I don't think it's that. Don't really think it's that deep. I mean, most people know her. It's not really sexist. Most people know her as Kamala. You don't think?
Say that.
Why? I'm actually a woman. How do you know I'm not a woman? How dare you interrupt me?
Can I be on the show, please?
Of course you can.
Awesome, thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Bert.
Never asked.
All right, so shout out to him. Yeah, I mean, the whole last name thing, it ain't really no big deal. Kamala's easier to say than Mrs. Harris. Don't even sound right. Like, who are you? Are you my biology teacher? Like, what's going on? Yeah, it don't really. And then Trump is just one syllable. It's easy to say. It's simple. Okay, Barack Obama, a lot of times they say both names, Barack Obama, or they might just say Obama. It's easy. It's a simple name to say. Harris, like, what type of, that's not really, that's like saying Smith. I mean, shout out to all the Smiths out there, but it's, 10 million of you in Los Angeles alone. So, yeah, Kamala, easy. Trump, easy. Barrio, Barack Obama, Barack, all of those, easy. W, we don't even call him Bush or George Bush. We call him W because to differentiate between him and his father. So it's contextual as well. Here's more.
Canelo will win because he's the smartest.
So this guy is the same guy, and he has a table that says, change my mind, like Crowder. Shout out to Crowder. Changing my mind, Trump or Kamala. And then you got my man that comes up on them and gives his 2 cents about who should be the president.
Canelo will win because he's the smartest, the brightest, and Trump is nothing but a traitor, a felon, and the most important thing is he's a sleaze. He's been a con artist from day one.
You're goddamn right he is.
She's going to be one of the best presidents because she's going to, Kamala's...
When are you going to start telling the truth?
Huh?
When are you going to start telling the truth? You've been capping a lot. When are you going to start telling?
So now you just kind of trolling, but yeah. There's a lot of people out there that really feel that same way. They feel the same way. They think that Kamala, she's going to be a great president. Okay, now we have some people at the rally. I'm not quite sure where this is. It could be in Phoenix. It could be somewhere else. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, it's probably Phoenix or Vegas, because I see a banner for UNLV. So let's check this out.
Why are y'all voting for Kamala Harris?
I don't want to lose my rights. Like, I'm a trans man and I'm gay and I have been pregnant and I've had an abortion before and I don't want to lose that. I'm afraid of not being able to be myself anymore because from what I've heard, Trump's America doesn't want me to look like this. So.
Look like what? You look like a regular girl to me. Like a regular, like a goth girl. That's about it. With a pair of headphones on and some glasses. Look like what? Now, your friend, on the other hand, has a lot of interesting tattoos on her body. Well, not tattoos, pardon me. Piercings on her face. Very interesting.
That's why I'm here today, and that's why I'm voting blue.
What about you?
I've also been pregnant and had an abortion before. I was a minor, and it would have been dangerous for me to properly, it would have been dangerous for me to carry a baby with, personal reasons and everything. I also, I'm very,
alternative,
and
I feel like if Trump were to win, I wouldn't be able to express myself through my looks and everything.
How is that? How is a president becoming the president going to stop you from getting piercings in your face? Have you ever heard about any Republican drafting a bill that would limit body piercings? That's not a thing. Where did it get this information from? Where is that coming from? It's just lies. It's things that don't make any sense. Who's putting that false information out there? They're afraid over nothing. Listen, if Trump becomes president, y'all can still be who y'all want to be. You can identify as whatever you want, man. You can identify as a whole bathroom. You can identify as one of your piercings. You can identify as a cloud that Kamala was referring to earlier, where all the stuff is stored above us. Identify as whatever you want. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you. You're literally not gonna have any problems. You can continue to get more face piercings, and you'll be just fine.
Everything and wouldn't be able to have the piercings or the dyed hair or the tattoos that I want. I would be able to be myself. And my dad's very pro-Trump, and I'm just very.
Oh boy, I know. Dad is so proud of his daughter. Dad is just beaming with pride for his daughter. Beaming with pride.
Pro Kamala.
Pro Kamala. Yeah, I don't, it's
Does
just,
that cause a divide at all?
yeah, it definitely does. He thinks that Kamala's going to ruin the country, but I think that Trump would do worse, like a lot. Like Kamala is going to be good for the country.
All right. So yeah, shout out to her. Hopefully she comes to her senses. She might be pretty young. Hopefully she comes to her senses and sides with dad and says that, yeah, I'm sorry, dad. I was young and dumb and you were right. That's what I hope happens to the young lady. All right. Shout out to her. Now, you know what the future, and I didn't even plan this. So the young lady right there, if she doesn't get it right, but she can't get it right, she got her dad, and I'm sure her dad loves her. She probably got mom, dad, parents. She has people that are there for her that love her. So she can come back around and get it together and leave that craziness behind like a lot of us have done. All right. When you're young, what they say, when you're young, I forgot how the whole thing goes. You should know what it is. When you're young, you vote Democrat. When you're old, you vote Republican. Okay. If you don't vote Democrat when you're young, you have no brain. But if you don't vote Republican when you're older, you have no, I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to get this saying right. If you don't vote Democrat when you're young, you have no heart. If you don't vote Republican when you're old, you have no brain. I did it. And RIP to the headphone users in advance. This could be the young lady's future if she doesn't get it tightened up right now.
Ones who support him are suburban, rural, and probably not that well educated.
You mean like those people over there?
Yep.
Okay. What made you come to the conclusion to kind of categorize people like that based on their political leanings?
I watch the news, and I read what Trump says. And when I see people like those folks saying, make America great again, what they mean is we're really glad that there isn't a black man in the White House.
How do you put those two together?
Because America was damn great when Obama was in the White House. And here's the other thing, too. They actually, at one point, I remember when they were first running, Michelle Obama said something about, let's make America great. And all the other right wingers jumped all over it and said, how in the world can she say America's not great? But Trump comes out and says, make America great again. Oh, and that's fine. Why? Because the white guy said it? No.
So do you honestly think that most of his supporters are racist or prejudiced?
Yes,
okay.
I
Would
do.
you be?
All right. Now, you know what's funny about that? This whole black thing. What's funny about that is that all that goes out the window when it comes to me. Guys that look like me, right? Now, if it was a race between myself and a white Democrat. So let's say I was running up against Tim Walz, the Stolen Valor guy. It's Anthony Brown Logan versus Tim Walz in a general election. I'm a Republican, Tim Walz, Democrat. Now, is she going to vote for me because I'm black? Is she going to say, hey, you know what? You guys who are saying that Anthony does not have good qualifications and no education or whatever, you guys are being racist because he's black? Would she say that then? No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't say a word. That black card only works in certain situations, which means it doesn't work at all. If it's conditional like that, then it doesn't really work. It's just BS. It's dumb. But yeah, shout out to her. Again, the young lady we saw with the piercings, that's her future if she doesn't get it tightened up. If she doesn't tighten up, that's going to be her in the future. Still mad and angry at that age. All right. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Oh, we got some people talking about the election. Very, very good clip here.
Are Black and Hispanic voters persuaded by identity politics or actual policies? We hit the streets of the Bronx to find out.
She's using her color. I thought that Martin Luther King said the color wasn't the issue. I thought it was the content of our character that we were supposed to be recognized for. But if she's going to keep running on that color, she's going to have a misconception about how black people really roll.
And you know what? And what she said right there was very good and a very good point. She's running on color because every time I talk about her, it's okay. She's Asian, she's black, a woman of color, woman. You're running on that stuff. But then whole time you're not even black. People are saying, hey, why is race a factor? Why is it an issue? Because they're running on race. If you're running on race and you're not the race that you say you are from day to day, then your whole campaign is built upon a lie.
If you bring somebody into office that looks like you, but then continues to detriment your community, what was that for? But if you choose somebody who can raise your community, then you chose the right one. Yes. So
who do you choose?
Personally, I choose Trump.
I'm looking for who I think is more qualified to run the country. That's all I'm looking at.
Black Latinos are starting to be a little bit more critical. They're fed up of their hard-earned money going to illegal, undocumented people.
Kamala Harris did not do a good job on the border because from what I know, a lot of people were coming from the other side and doing a lot of bad things to what we call home.
I think she's not a good candidate for president because she's with Joe Biden for the past 2 years, a wreck up in New York, you know.
Colors don't matter, man.
Right, they don't.
Ask God, man.
That's true. So what do you think about a candidate that uses their race as a selling point? Do you think
that's some weird
That's weird?
You lost already, 2024. If you racist today, you lost. Nobody going against Trump.
It's not about race, it's about what they provide for the society, is what they could do for the community.
With her putting a lot of black Americans in jail for the marijuana, they're not really going for her.
We also got people's thoughts on Trump's recent comments on Harris's ethnicity.
She was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
Yeah, she was Hindu when it suited her purpose, you know, and now that she's running, the black vote suits her purpose. So, like Trump said, you know, now she's black.
Donald Trump is absolutely right. Her mother's Indian, her father's Irish Hindu, and she's always presented herself as Indian.
What do you think about Trump saying Kamala Harris is black? I thought she was Indian. She was saying she was Indian.
That's my response. Trump is an open book, yo. Facts.
That's just Trump being Trump. I don't believe he's racist. I don't even think he has a racist bone in his body.
Trump said that Kamala Harris always portrayed herself to be Indian, and now all of a sudden she's saying she's black.
Right? Nah, she's really Indian. She just want our support. She's trying to snatch our support away from Trump. But that's not how that's going down.
Reporting for Newsmax in the Bronx.
Very good.
Bronx, New York.
Bronx, New York City. Shout out to the Bronx. Shout out to New York City. Shout out to all you guys out there. Nothing but facts. All facts. All facts. Everybody can see that. Like, the whole thing with the race is you're just trying to play to whatever you got to play to try and succeed. You're not being yourself. You're not being authentic. Who's the best rapper alive? Tupac. Been dead since 1997, 1996, whenever that was. Okay. When you were in college in the late 80s, who were you listening to? Tupac. Didn't come out until the early 90s. He was still in Baltimore doing ballet classes and stuff like this, doing the splits on the bar and all this kind of good stuff, right? Hanging out with Jada Pinkett, being her first love interest before he started rapping at all, before the California trip. That's what I'm saying. It's like the lies, the gaslighting is just way too much. All right. Here's a good story. I'm not gonna play the entire thing, but it's a good story.
Liberal white women are the worst. They are the absolute worst. Today, after I finished my day job, I went to go clean a house for this woman. I had never cleaned for this woman before, and I knew that she was going to try to talk to me because she was very friendly. And let me set this up for y'all. You know, when I come in, I'm in my uniform, and so we're talking about my day job at Chick-fil-A, you know, and everybody likes to tell me how they like the food, which is great food, and I don't mind. But, you know, I came straight to her house, so we're talking about this, and I asked her if I could change into my, you know, my cleaning clothes, and she's like, sure, and she introduces me to her husband and her granddaughter. Yay, everything's cool. But then they left, and she just wants to start talking. And I already knew. I knew Kamala was going to come up because we're alone. I'm a black woman. This is Austin, Texas. I knew it, and she did not fail to deliver. Sure enough, she smiled at me and said, aren't you excited about Kamala? No, I'm not. And I tried my best not to roll my neck too much and frown up and look like I was smelling onions, but it was really hard. And I'm not sure I succeeded. Actually, I know I didn't. Because I told her that not only did I not support Kamala, that the Democrats are the party that started the Klan. She tried to argue with me that the parties switched. And I've heard this goofy argument many times from many other liberals.
these kind of conversations like this, normally whenever it kind of presents itself for me to get into a political conversation with a normie, I tend to not do it because they get so offended. They get so offended when you really challenge their worldview. Oh, they get offended. And the racism, oh my goodness. It's like the N-word is right there on top of their tongue and they want to let it go. They want to let it go immediately. When they get challenged and they get flustered, they turn fire truck red, then they want to lash out. They want to do something to you and then run away. That's their MO. N-word, and then they run away.
And Democrats that the parties have switched. When? Because after they got rid of Lincoln, the Democrats took control and Jim Crow went into effect. That is history. They got rid of Lincoln. After they did that, Jim Crow went into effect. It was a Democratic president. The Democrats had control. They were upset that slavery was over and done with. So when did this party switch? Where was the switch? Because Jim Crow went on. I went to history.com to look up when did Jim Crow end, and Jim Crow laws essentially ended, according to history.com, Jim Crow laws named after a black minstrel show character. The laws, which existed for about 100 years from the post-Civil War era until 1968, were meant to marginalize African Americans by denying them the right to vote, hold jobs, get an education.
There's more there, but it's a kind of a long video, but you get the idea what's going on. Like these people, a lot of these liberals, white liberals, black liberals, when you challenge their worldview, they don't really know what to say. They don't really know how to handle it because they feel like they feel like they're superior to you. They feel like they know more than you. They feel like they're your protector. They're your defender. That's what they feel like. So then when you challenge that, then they don't know what to do. They're kind of stuck. All they can do is kind of lash out or just kind of crawl into themselves and run away. But that voice she did about the lady talking about Kamala, that's spot on accurate. Spot on. I've never heard such a good impression in my life. All right, but shout out to her. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That will help me out tremendously. Okay, and we got a lot going on here. Link to the video. I might try to retweet it on my Twitter. Yeah. Well, actually, I can't do that right now, but I'll find it for you. I'll find it for you, and then once I find it, I'll retweet it. So be on the lookout for that. All right. So we have Gavin Newsom out here cleaning up the trash in California. So all my Californians, you guys know Gavin Newsom signed that executive order recently to order local municipalities to clean up the homeless encampments around the state. I guess there's funding and there's a green light. Go ahead and clean it up. Well, he's saying that some of the cities are doing a good job, but some of the counties are not. And he's threatening to divert monies from these places who are not doing a good job with the homeless cleanup to places that are doing a good job. So basically threatening to withhold funds if you don't clean up the homeless encampments. Now, we know California, it's a mess. I mean, these camps are out of control. Let me see if I can find some camps right quick just to show. Like, listen, I've lived in hood areas, quote unquote hood areas, for a big portion of my life. And I've never seen what's happening in California or in the left coast in general, with the tent cities everywhere, the open drug use. Back in my day, dope fiends had a little bit of pride. They wouldn't just be out in the open, smoking crack just in the middle of the street with kids around and stuff like this. They didn't do that back in my day. You go to California, it's like whatever, man. You can smoke crack. You can just use a bathroom right there on the ground. Not even trying to go to the woods. You can have decency to try to find some kind of wooded area or a tree like a dog. Even a dog is going to have enough sense to not necessarily just go ahead and just shoot it on the sidewalk. They're going to try to find some kind of grassy area. They might even try to bury it with their foot. They're going to have a little bit more sense than some of these dope fiends who just go right there on the ground. I've never seen that any kind of hood area in my life. But left coast California is everywhere. You can't even escape it. You can't even escape it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find some. California homeless. Some of these encampments, man, are out of control. Okay, let's just watch this.
Governor Gavin Newsome at the site of an encampment.
All right, hold on. And so you can see some of the encampments right here. That's perfect, actually.
Governor Gavin Newsome at the site of an encampment cleanup today. He is fighting mad, threatening to reallocate funding if cities and counties can't get a handle on homeless encampments. The governor taking aim at lawmakers.
KTLA's John Finolio joining us live from Mission Hills, where the governor appears to double down on his executive order. John?
Sandra, Micah, that's right. Just a few hours ago, Governor Gavin Newsom was here clearing a homeless encampment under the 5 freeway in Mission Hills. The governor really taking aim today at county leaders, saying they are not doing enough to address the crisis. Let's get you right to some of this video. There you can see Governor Newsom joining Caltrans crews to clear a large homeless encampment under the 5 freeway in Mission Hills this afternoon. Last month, Newsom issued an executive order to state agencies to act with urgency and compassion to address the homelessness crisis. The governor's order requires agencies to prioritize clearing encampments and to provide advance notice of said clearance.
Now, look, can we talk about something right quick? Okay, you got Gavin Newsom out here being recorded wearing his regular dude clothes, cleaning up a homeless encampment, carrying stuff just in his hands with a pair of gloves on. I mean, you can't get a wheelbarrow in there or something. You can't get some kind of tool to make that be a little bit more efficient. Or is it just me thinking a little bit critically? Get one of those rugged carts that have the 4 wheels. Get one of those in there or something.
The order also directs local officials to work with local organizations to help those living on the streets find shelter. All this, of course, following the Supreme Court's ruling in June that says cities have a right to fine and arrest people sleeping outside in public, even if they have nowhere else to go, and that such enforcement does not amount to cruel and unusual punishment under the 8th Amendment. Newsom said he welcomed the High Court's ruling, saying California needed guidance here and that he intends to clean up the state. Now, a number of business groups and other local leaders support the governor's position, but not LA Mayor Karen Bass. She has criticized the court's ruling, saying that citing or arresting people is not a solution because doing so unfairly criminalizes them.
I mean, at a certain point, you can't just be outside on the street just doing whatever you want to do. With all the trash and the drug use, you can't just be out there doing whatever. Now, the problem that California has is that they are an attractive place to be. Everybody want to be Southern California, especially all over the state, because of how much money is there. Like, if you're a dope fiend and part of your income comes from panhandling, things of this nature, go to where everybody has money. You can support your drug habit. You could be out there smoking crack all day, and they have a lot of services. That's something else. California enables the behavior. They have what would attract people already because of the weather and or the money people have that they can give them. But beyond that, you have these non-governmental agencies, organizations that are giving so-called homeless people a bunch of resources. It just built that high-rise right by Skid Row for the homeless. So they're giving them free shelter, free food, beautiful weather, everything. They're probably getting the check. They're giving them so much. They're giving them the paraphernalia to shoot their drugs. You're giving them all the reason in the world to be homeless in California. Then you're wondering, how are we going to deal with the problem? Well, maybe if you didn't incentivize it to begin with, that'll cut down on some of it right there. It's like going to the gym every day and exercising very hard, but every day you eat a whole pound cake straight to the face. Boom. In the morning, a pound cake, an entire nothing but bundt cake, a crumble cookie, 2,000 calories immediately. Then you've eaten all throughout the day. You didn't consume 10,000 calories. You going into the gym working hard, but you only burn 1,000 calories, so you still way over your limit, and you wondering why you're not seeing any kind of results. Well, maybe, how about this? Just reduce the number of calories you take in. The same way you can eliminate or reduce the incentives for the homeless to be out there to begin with. And the main thing, in my opinion, is the drugs. That is the problem, the drugs. If you could tighten that up, a lot of this kind of goes away, in my opinion.
She has prioritized shelter over enforcement as part of her Inside Safe program. California has an estimated...
Hey, and speaking of pound cake, before I continue, I saw a pound cake food truck today. I almost pulled over. I'm like, man, I can't be doing this. This is nothing but the devil. This is the devil. A pound cake food truck. What is this nonsense?
180,000 unhoused people, or about a third of the nation's homelessness population. It's estimated the state has under 72,000 shelter beds. Newsom says the money is there to help cities and counties do their part. He touted his...
Look at all this. Like, this kind of thing does not exist anywhere that I've ever seen in my life growing up. Tents just out on the open, on the sidewalk. You don't see that.
His administration spending some $24 billion to house people. But he singled out LA County, saying supervisors must do more to address the problem. And if they don't, he'll redirect state resources from the county to those that he believes are acting with urgency. Listen.
This is not about criminalization. What's criminal is neglecting people that are struggling and suffering and dying on our watch. That's criminal. We need local government to step up. This is a crisis. Act like it. The state's unprecedented billions and billions of dollars support. I'm not interested in providing that support and not seeing the results. I'm a taxpayer, not just the governor. It's not complicated. We'll send that money to counties that are producing results.
So that's Gavin threatening places who do not produce results when it comes to clean up the homeless encampments. He's threatening them by diverting monies from them to the counties and places that will. But again, and somebody said it right here, if you don't solve the drug problem, you will never fix the homeless problem, because that's fueling it. The people that you see out there with a patch of filth and all kind of crazy stuff going on, they're on drugs. It's just that simple, of some sort. They all have the drug of choice. Fentanyl is pretty much everywhere now, so they might be on that drug or this drug, but ultimately they're on fentanyl. They're getting drugs from the street. Okay. So, and what's going to happen when they start to legalize more drugs, you're going to get a lot of chemical concoctions in these stores that's going to have some unintended side effects. In my humble opinion, you're going to see some things, you're going to see a lot more of that going on. I think that'll be the next thing, these unintended consequences. All right. Now, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Oh, Tim Walz. We got to get into Tim Walz. Got to get into him. Now, this dude is probably the worst VP pick I've seen in my life. Like, in my lifetime. I'm not saying he's the worst ever, but as far as me living since 1984, I think this guy might be the worst that I've seen. Now, this is from Libs at TikTok. She reposted this, and it says, Democrat governors wake up in the morning thinking about deleting babies and inappropriate books in school. But don't take my word for it. Listen to Tim Walz. Check it out. All right, here we go.
Excuse me, Governor Walz. If you had to briefly sum up the biggest difference between Dem Govs and GOP governors, what would it be?
Well, I think Dem governors wake up in the morning making sure they're improving lives and listening to folks, making sure that people have access to reproductive care, making sure we're tackling the tough issues like climate change, making sure that we put the middle class first. Republicans trying to find ways to divide us, trying to find ways to take freedoms away. While we're trying to banish hunger from our schools, they're banishing books from them. And really, at the end of the day, they're just weird, and they focus on weird issues that don't impact people's lives.
There go that Chinese Communist Party training, astroturfing, keep talking about weird. And it's not me just making up a conspiracy theory. He even said that he's the one who created that whole term. He created that astroturfing campaign to call everything the Republicans do weird. It's the same way they talk about MAGA Republicans. That's what they'll say, to the point where regular normies are saying that about people that are on the other side that they don't like. Oh, that's a MAGA. You're a MAGA Republican. Now, if you ask them, hey, what's that? What's a MAGA? What's that mean? They're not going to know. Oh, you don't know? The typical thing when you don't know an answer, you just say, you try to insult the person asking you the question rather than answering the question. You know, that's kind of how that goes. So, yeah, Tim Walz, that's him. That's the best they could come up with for a VP. Pretty bad. Let's keep on going here. Now, here he is talking about China for a little bit, just a second.
Now, I happen to be and understand a little about China and lived in China and speak Chinese. I'm pretty friendly with China. Now, I happen to be and understand a little about China and lived in China and speak Chinese. I'm pretty friendly with China. Now, I happen to be and understand a little about China and lived in China and speak Chinese. I'm pretty friendly with China.
I bet you are very friendly with China. I bet you're very friendly with China. You've been there 30 times on official visits, 30 times. Now, somebody tried to tell me, oh, look, man, he was just up there teaching English or whatever he was doing. So what? 30 times? Look, if I go anywhere 30 times, it's got to be for a reason. I mean, listen, if it's a vacation spot, I'm not going to go there that much. 30 times? I mean, have I been to an amusement park, one park that many times? I don't know, about 30, 10, 15, 30? Come on. Like, what are we doing here? Straight Chinese Communist Party. And he's telling you, I'm a socialist. I believe in astroturfing campaigns. I speak Chinese. I've lived in China. I'm close to the Chinese. He might as well say my name is some random Chinese letters. And that's what I go by every day. When I'm at home with my wife, that's what we speak. We speak Chinese in our twin-size beds pushed together that we don't sleep in the same room anyway. That's kind of what's going on. And old white Fang Fang, yeah, pretty much. Yum Yum Fang Fang, that's him. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I wouldn't want some Chinese Communist Party puppet in the administration, let alone to be the vice president.
Good evening.
All right, let's not watch that one. Now, this is a 2009 video where Tim Walz was confronted about the whole stolen valor thing. Because remember, Tim Walz was in the Army Reserves. He was in the National Guard 24 years. In 2005, they were scheduled to deploy to Iraq. And rather than going to Iraq, he just retired. Now, some are going to say that he put his retirement in a year before they deployed. But that doesn't mean that he didn't do that because he thought they were going to go out. They probably get advance notice that they were going to get shipped out. And you can kind of see the writing on the wall. This is, if he retired in 2004, I mean, 9/11 happened 2001. So we're right in wartime. We're right in Iraq wartime right now. So you already know you're about to get sent over. If you are in the reserve unit, you're going to get called up, or you might get called up. So rather than doing that, you say, you know what, I'm going to just retire. And then he goes around talking about what he did in combat, and he was this particular title, all kind of stuff. And the things that he said are not true, which when you're talking about your military service, when you say things that you did not do, when you say you had this rank and you didn't have that rank, that's called stolen valor. And my military guys out there and girls do not like that at all. Civilians as well do not like when guys do that. Being in the military is a very serious thing. People that died for this country. So you don't get the right to just say whatever you want to say without being fact checked and really criticized over it. Okay, let's go ahead and check this out right here.
My name is Dave Thule. This is Travis Quinlan. We're both constituents and Iraq War vets. We're hoping to talk to someone about a photograph I have of Congressman Walz. Okay. Not sure if you have ever seen this picture before? Mm-mm. Okay. Well, in it depicts 2004 Indian Afghanistan veteran.
Right.
Congressman Walz is not an Afghanistan war veteran, is he?
He served in Italy as part of Operation Enduring Freedom.
Okay, but he didn't serve in Afghanistan, did he?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Hi, Rick. I'm Dave Thule. How you doing? Nice to meet you. There's a young lady in the other office that was helping us, but if you can, we're. You guys want to come in and have a seat? Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, have a seat.
I'm gonna go forward a little bit here.
Afghanistan and the airspace directly above. There's other units that are called up in support of, and I'm sure that's probably what his military orders said. Right. My concern, other than this picture, is that the congressman's website, his official biography, says simply that he was mobilized with his battalion in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, without any other details. Don't you think it's reasonable? People might assume that means he served in Afghanistan. Perhaps, I guess. Okay. So,
I mean, the website, you have inaccurate things on there. You're not really trying to fix it. And I think what they did after some of this stuff came out, they had a bio about Tim Walz on Kamala's campaign website, and they scrubbed it and they fixed it to give an actual title rather than what he gave him, which was inaccurate. All right, but there's more. It's kind of a long video, and it's old. That video's from 2009, but it looks like it was recorded the same way they catch the Loch Ness Monster. The footage, audio, and video was real bad, but it's only 2009. But think about this. 2009 was 15 years ago. Imagine that. If you don't feel old, you feel old right now, and it's okay. All right. Now, this woman right here is a Speedway employee, and she was asking random people, random customers. She's a Speedway employee in Minnesota, and she was asking random customers their opinion about Tim Walz. Okay. This should be fun. And this woman is a Democrat. She's a Democrat, and she was asking people about Tim Walz.
Don't come for me. I'm at work, okay? I just have a question. I've been asking people when they come in, like, if they're excited about Tim Walz for VP, because I'm excited. As a Minnesotan, I'm very excited. But for some reason, the people around Minnesota seem to really hate him, and I just want to know why. So if you're here on TikTok, you live here in the state of Minnesota, please leave a comment and let me know what you don't like about Tim Walz, because I'm really curious, because he's done a lot of great things for this state.
Now, if you guys live in Minnesota or anywhere around, or if you know about Tim Walz's track record, what has he done for Minnesota? What has he done? What is his claim to fame for the state? That's what I want to know. I keep hearing about the negative things. He's for puberty blockers, hormone blockers for children. He is a communist, a socialist, self-admitted, really kind of a Chinese asset at a certain point, might even be a Chinese spy, lied, stolen valor, said he did things that he did not do. Okay. A propagandist outwardly, openly. What is it to like about this man? But again, I don't live in Minnesota, so I don't know. He might be a saint out there for all I know. Okay. He might be a saint. But I don't believe that he is. I think people don't like him for a specific reason. Okay, there's a reason. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Now, where do I want to go next? Do I want to go to the crazy mayor? Yeah. The mayor of what's that? The mayor of Dolton, Illinois, out there, south far. It's kind of like maybe like an hour or so from Chicago. I'm not really sure how far it is, but not Chicago, but the far south suburbs, I suppose that'd be called. Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dolton, Illinois, has been a mess for a while. She's pretty much looting the town. Let me put up a number. It's going to kind of shock you. It's going to shock you, but at the same time, it won't shock you. Okay, speaking about Tiffany Henyard. I want to say Tiffany Dolton, but the town is called Dolton, and her name is Henyard. All right. So, yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. Right there. Right there. All right, check it out. Look at this. Now, it says Dolton General Fund, $3.65 million in debt, down from a surplus of $5.6 million when Henyard took office. So in a very short period of time, she pretty much looted the town and some, and put it in debt. She took all the money and then put the town in massive debt. Okay, it's been a mess. Now, this mayor, Tiffany Henyard, has a criminal record, had already been locked up before, and I don't know how she got elected. I don't really understand. Okay, now, before I continue, there was a video I got to show you guys. I got to show you guys this particular video because the woman who spoke nailed it. She all the way 100% nailed it. Here we go.
I think this is going to be my home. So,
Okay. Yeah.
Good evening, residents. My name is Cassandra Jordan. I've been a resident here in Dalton for 16 years. And when I look at the situation and everything that's going on, I can just honestly say I'm just so disgusted with what is going on in this village. And I want to encourage the voters, because I've come to the point that I don't just vote because you're just black. We have to start doing our due diligence and start researching the people that we actually cast our votes for. We can no longer just take handouts and because you're my favorite or because I like you. We have to literally start doing our research. And for those of you that voted for Tiffany, I'm just going to honestly say it. You might not like me. You just didn't do your research. I mean, you can honestly look at this chick and see that there was an issue and that there was a problem. I mean, when you do your research, you see, I mean, if you got a person with a criminal background, who in their right mind would have put her in position? So I say to you all, do your due diligence and just stop voting for people because they're black. We have to do our research. And if a lot of you all had done your research, a lot of this stuff would have been avoided. That's all I'm going to have to say.
Hey, very, very, very well said. Very well done. There was quite a few people that were talking. This is part of like an almost 2-hour thing. Because it's the Lori, you see right here, Lori Lightfoot report. I'm going to kind of go back a little bit earlier in the video. See if they're going to show Lori. They may or may not. Yeah, I think Lori's right there. So y'all know who Lori Lightfoot is. Lori Lightfoot is a former mayor of Chicago. What the Dolton Board of Trustees did was hire her to investigate what was happening with the mayor and the corruption. They found all type of stuff. They found that she spent $14,000 on Amazon using the taxpayers' funds. She did all type of stuff, went on trips. She had one trip where she went to Atlanta and spent $10,000 at the Four Seasons. It's like, really? You did that? Dumb stuff, Instagram stuff, Atlanta Housewives type stuff. But you're looting the city's funds. You're literally stealing taxpayer money to do it. She did all type of stuff in there. But back to Lori Lightfoot. Why do you need to hire Lori Lightfoot and her team of people? Why do you need this big panel of people? Like, hold on. Why do you need to have all these people?
Trustee Holmes is
in the room. Like, is that the trustees? Why do you need Lori Lightfoot and her people to come on here? You know what the lady is doing. You know you can't pay your bills. You know she's basically extorting local businesses to donate to her campaign, quote unquote, to stay in business, to keep the liquor license. You know what's going on. It's a mess. So the expenditures, Lori Lightfoot, too much. The mayor stealing money. And I think everybody's trying to loot Dolton and the entire state. Check this out. There's a whole thing with the property taxes going up in the south suburbs and all over the state. But people are getting these crazy bills talking about, okay, last year your tax bill for your home was $2,000 total. 2 payments that total $2,000. Now, one payment is $30,000. Dumb stuff. And it's like, oh, you can go try to appeal and it's a mistake. What they're going to do is a whole Joe Biden method. What they're going to do, in my opinion, we talking about some of these really high bills they're getting out in the south suburbs and all over the state of Illinois. What they're going to do is give you this really crazy number that's unrealistic and you couldn't pay it. You're going to go appeal it and they're going to mark it down, but it'll still be much higher than what it was before. So you may feel some sense of relief that it's not $35,000, but you were paying $2,000 and now it's $5,000. So you still lost, although it's not as bad as what it could have been. You might feel a little bit better, perhaps. I wouldn't. If my bill doubled, I'm not trying to pay that. Yeah, I'm trying to go to the Supreme Court. I'm trying to go march on Washington for something like that. I'm not paying for what? Because you want to bring in the illegal aliens and they need some money. You spending $1 billion in a month on illegal aliens. So now you got to take my money. Now you got to steal my money to support them. How about don't allow them into the state? How about don't fund them? It gets cold out there in Chicago. If they out in them brutal winters where they had Juicy Smollett in them, if they're out there in that, then they might want to go back to Venezuela, or they might want to go back to Europe or wherever they came from. Just maybe. Just maybe. Yeah, if I lived in Illinois, any kind of high tax place like that, I'm not going to stay and get robbed, barefaced, no pistol, with this whole IRS thing. I'm not trying to get robbed. Well, now there is a gun involved because they got IRS agents who are armed, armed IRS agents. Oh, well, they got to be armed for what? What is the reason? What is the purpose? All right, now let me see if I have more here. Let's play the clip, shall we? Yeah, of the findings. Let's get into the findings of the report.
And trustees say they've known for years that Dolton is in a dire financial situation. Now, after Lori Lightfoot's 4-month investigation, they say it's worse than they even knew.
Lit up and laid out in cold, hard numbers on the big screen, it appears the bank accounts of Dolton are depleted.
So look at this. Look at the Amazon purchases. Hold on. Let's go back.
Bank account.
So we got stuff, Amazon, about $40,000. Target, $500 almost. Walgreens, Wayfair. She spent about $7,700. I'm not sure what she bought at Wayfair. Gift cards, things of this nature, all kind of stuff like that from taxpayer money.
Accounts of Dolton are depleted.
We've been fighting for transparency so that things like this won't happen.
Slide by slide, Chicago's former mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Hold on, and she's traveling. Oh, she let her travel. That's something else. So there are several charges related to travel, such as Birmingham, Alabama, Montgomery, D.C., Vegas, with 8 people in Vegas, Jackson, Mississippi, Austin, Texas, Portland, Oregon, Central and Southern Illinois, 10 hotel rooms. What are we doing buying hotel rooms in Illinois, not too far from where you live? Like, what are we doing? New York City, Atlanta. And Atlanta, she was by herself, from what it looks like. She was just down there hanging out in Atlanta, having a good old time.
Chicago's former mayor Lori Lightfoot revealed out in detail the findings of digging into Dolton's finances.
As of May 30th of this year, the village's general fund was in a net deficit position.
According to Lightfoot's documentation, Dolton's general fund balance is now $3.6 million in debt, depleted from a flush fund of more than $5.6 million in April 2022.
So I think she got in office in April 23. 1 year, she stole $5 million in 1 year from this little town. Well, more than that, actually, she stole closer to $9 million. Well, nah, if she came into office in 22 and it was 5.61 million of a surplus, and then May 24 is 3.65 million in the red, you're talking about like $9 million she stole. $9 million.
That's around the time Mayor Tiffany Henyard took office. The figure astonished the audience of residents. Cash on hand, Lightfoot says, is non-existent, and Dolton's unpaid bills under Henyard's administration are piling up.
Based on the records that we reviewed since March of 2023, the village has been unable to pay all of its monthly expenditures. Per records from the John Kasperick firm, as of June 18, 2024, there are 589 checks totaling over $6 million that have been approved, printed, but not transmitted to vendors.
As the bank account balance plummeted, the village's credit card spending on 6 different cards soared last year. 9 different domestic trips, including one to Las Vegas, that's now part of multiple investigations. More than $43,000 in Amazon charges in one day. $8,000 in purchases from Wayfair.
These are somebody using one of the credit cards and charging these amounts using your tax card.
And somebody else said it in the chat. She had there was 4 Tahoe leases. Also, the cops. So she had 2 police officers basically be her chauffeur and her bodyguard, personal bodyguards, and they made over $300,000 in overtime. And I think in 1 year, $300,000 in overtime for 2 cops. Meanwhile, they were trying to take money away from the fire department. Oh, we don't got the money. Well, there it is right there with these 2 cops you got being your personal chauffeur and bodyguard. She was doing dumb stuff like having them take her to a Mexican restaurant. It's like, you can't just drive right there. You're in Dolton, Illinois. You're not in Monaco. Like, who are you? You think you Beyonce or something like this? You're just a regular person, like all the rest of us. Like, you don't need a chauffeur to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. What are we doing?
Village trustees have been waiting years for this information.
Y'all know it took everything in my soul to sit here and stomach this report. $40,000 at Amazon. What a slap in the face.
Now village residents who've been hammering Mayor Henyard for months are left nearly in tears.
It's beyond belief. And it's going to take us years to get, I'll probably be dead by the time they get this straightened out. I mean, that's how long it's going to take for us to dig out from under this hole that they have placed us under. And they continue to laugh and lie in the faces of people that don't know any better.
4 months into this fiscal year, the village is still operating with no budget, and there is a lot more in that report. We did reach out to Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who was not at last night's meeting for any.
So yeah, that's a whole big mess. So yeah, for you guys,
2 men are dead and another is serious.
Okay, let's not do that. But for you guys who were asking, yes, there was Lori Lightfoot, the former mayor of Chicago. They hired her as an investigator on this case, and like I said, I don't know why they did that, because you know what happened here. There's not a mystery as to what's going on. You already know exactly what the deal is. So ain't no sense in trying to act like you don't know what's really happening. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And somebody asked, is she going to the penitentiary? Is she going to jail? I mean, she should go to the penitentiary, but that's up to them. That's up to them out there in Illinois. I think the feds have been involved with the case. They came to Dolton and they investigated. So if the feds want to get her, locked up, then maybe it'll be so. Now, before we get to super chats and phone calls, I got one more here. This is over in UK. Okay, over in UK. Now, the caption here, man thrown in jail 20 months for social media posts during far-right riots. 20 months for social media posts. All right. This is, again, in UK. All right. Check it out. And you see my man right here with these crazy wigs. UK, Canada, wherever you wear these wigs. Can we please stop? I mean, what do you have on, man? It's 2024.
You have been committed for sentence, having pleaded guilty to an offence of publishing written material which is threatening, abusive or insulting, intending thereby to stir up racial hatred. The context of your offending is that it arises out of the civil unrest and disorder in many parts of the United Kingdom. On the night of the 2nd and 3rd of August, the Britannia Hotel in Leeds was attacked by people who threw missiles which damaged windows. The police were called, and on the 3rd of August the hotel was locked down for the protection of those who were living there. At the time there were 210 occupants, many of whom were foreign refugees and asylum seekers. Similar attacks to the hotel were launched on the 4th of August. The police attended on each occasion, and units were deployed to safeguard the hotel.
Okay, that's enough of that. You get the idea of what's going on. Now, luckily, we have freedom of speech in the United States. Well, at least I think we do. I mean, the way it works here, or the way that it should work, is you can't get locked up for saying unpopular things. You can't get locked up for expressing your opinion. It doesn't matter how valid it is. You can't get locked up for just expressing your opinion. Now, if you launching terrorist threats and things of this nature, that's something else. But just from social media posts, critical or something like this, or a quote unquote inaccurate meme, you're not going to get locked up for that over here. But over there, hey, it's not quite the same way. It's not quite the same way. And here we have word from the police out there. Check this out. So, all right. So it's like a whole thing that they got going on. You know, got riots in UK, a lot of racial tension with the different cultures clashing, with all the migrants coming into the country at one time, which is a bad idea. You put in people that have one culture, been there for a long time, with people who have a whole different culture, who come from another place, and they've been there for a long time. They say their culture is right. They say their culture is right. And when they meet, they're both wrong because they're both right. Let's hear from the police out there in UK.
We'll throw the full force of the law at offenders, whether that's charging people with assaults, violent disorder, riot, and if terrorism offences are appropriate, I know the Director of Public Prosecutions has said he's prepared to consider that. We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we will come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the obs who are causing the problems for communities.
Now, what I heard right there is, hey, if you're in the U.S. and you're saying certain things that we don't like, and you're getting in the way what you got going on over here, well, we might come after you. I wish y'all would come over to the United States trying to arrest me for a meme or something crazy like that. Man, I wish you would. Okay, what you gonna do? Send the powder wig man after me? Is he gonna like just be at my front door, knock, come on out? I'm not going nowhere with you, Mr. Powder Wig Man, or you with a checkerboard hat on. I'm not going anywhere. You're not gonna come over here and try to arrest me for anything. Not in the least bit. See, over there, y'all might be able to do that, but over here, hey man, you're way out of your jurisdiction. Stay over there. Stay up with the tea and crumpets and the roadmen and the knives and all that good stuff you got over there. But don't come over here. Okay. Yeah, hey man, FAFO. Come on and get me. Come on. Bring the powdered wigs, bring the tea and crumpets. It's gonna be a good old fun time. Have a little barbecue right in the front yard. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got super chats on deck. Then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Yeah, those wigs always got me. Even when I was young, I was like, what is this? What is this contraption on your head? Why do that? I don't understand. You know, that's why to me, the whole slave trade thing, it didn't make much sense from the way that they were trying to explain it. They were trying to say that these random white men pulled up to the coast of Africa, went into the interior with malaria going hard, mosquitoes, crazy temperatures, not enough food to be in there. And they just went on slave raids and captured people with nets. That's what they said in Roots. They put up fish nets. We got caught up in the fish net on a land. It's like, is that really what happened for real? Or was it people that were already there fighting each other, and the loser, rather than getting deleted as normal, you would get put into a castle, and then what the Europeans would do was just pull up to the coast and present their wares. I got mirrors, I got umbrellas, I got guns. What you want? I got spices, we got salt, sugar, vinegar, whatever. Come on. Hey, you got slaves over there? I'll take a few of those, and here's your prize. Okay, here's your coconut water in a plastic paper package. Take that, and then I'll take 10 slaves for coconut water. That's pretty much the way it went. And the reason why I say that is because you're not going to tell me some powder wig man gonna pull up to the coast with a face full of makeup and just go and capture slaves in the net. Please be serious. Please be serious. It's not how it happened at all. That is not how it happened. It just didn't. But anyway, we got super chats on deck. Then we're going to get to the calls. Thank you to Caius Posthumous, who became an ABL member. Again, and he also says, why did Trump have to make an emergency landing? I don't know anything about that. Thank you to Jonathan Recco, who says, what happened to some of your longtime callers like Nippon, American Joe? I don't know. Shout out to them, though. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who said, shout out to Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin for mandating paper ballots in the 2024 election. Stick says Virginia is now in play. Do you agree? It's possible. It's definitely possible. It's going to be a tough battle in Virginia because of Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia is a cancer upon the entire state. Northern Virginia is to Virginia as New York City is to New York. It's the same kind of thing, but I think New York City obviously has a lot more power over the state of New York. Northern Virginia is just very influential because of all the liberals that go there because they want to get that federal government money. They want to get that big pharma money. They want to get the money that is stolen from the American people into their own pocket. But anyway, I'm getting triggered. Shout out to Caius Posthumous, again, who says Gavin Newsom put out CCP flags when G visited San Francisco. Sure did. Put the flags out there. Told everybody that was homeless and going to the bathroom on the ground to go over there for a minute. And then once Xi Jinping left, everything came back to normal. Okay, which is funny because they said they can't clean the city up, but for some reason they were able to do it for a while. If they did it for a while, why can't they keep it up? That make much sense. Shout out to Laura Catherine, who says these crazy people who were brainwashed into thinking masks work will never stop wearing them. Correct, because they're already been brainwashed. The brainwashing and demoralization has been complete. Again, shout out Yuri Bezmenov. Thank you to S. Ford, who says enjoying the live. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Crazy Avenue, who says Kamala said the data goes to the cloud and it's no longer in a physical space. What? Did it go to a spiritual place? Heaven? Yeah, the cloud is like heaven, basically. The data, your emails and whatnot, they got sent to heaven. That's what happened. It's in the cloud above us. That was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. Thank you to Lothair, who says, proud to be a widow. Just embrace it. Exactly, man. Whatever you are, be whatever you are. Thank you to Laura Catherine, who says, as a conservative middle-aged white woman, I can't stand the condescending attitude of liberal middle-aged white women. It's so gross. It really is. Shout out to you. Okay, shout out to you. Thank you to Crazy Avenue, says Tim calls a reproductive choice. Reproductive choice. Speaking about abortion, it has nothing to do with reproduction or care, but everything to do with termination and killing. Correct. Thank you to Musso Bronze, who says been watching you for about 4 years, and you've been the same in every session. I trust your opinions and value your perspectives. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Shout out to you. You got me the flexing emoji with the 100 and a salute. Shout out to you, boss. Thank you to Crazy Avenue, says, tell Britain to come on over and we will party like a 1776. Exactly. Thank you to Michael D'Angelo, who says, what did you expect from Elon's interview of PDT on Monday? Or what do I expect from it? Patrick, PDT? Who is PDT? I don't know who PDT is. What's your opinion on PDT and Joe's situation? I feel bad. DT can't trust anyone. Oh, you talking about, I don't know who PDT is. Patrick Bet David? Who is PDT? I don't even know who that is. I'm sorry. But if Elon's going to interview, I expect good things. Elon's a very smart person. In interviews, I hope that he has a good interviewer that can ask him good questions so we're able to get a good perspective on certain things that we didn't know of before, or certain things that we should know more about that nobody cares to ask. Yeah, I'm thinking about Patrick Bet David. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. So shout out to him. Yeah, I like Patrick Bet David. Kind of a middle of the road. In my opinion, Patrick Bet David is a true middle of the road kind of person. A fair person. Oh, Donald Trump. Oh, okay. I never heard of Donald Trump be referred to as PDT. That's interesting. So President Donald Trump. So, okay, I answer your question now. Elon and Trump going to have an interview. That's going to be very interesting. I might even stream that if I can. And my opinion on Patrick of Trump and Joe Rogan. So what happened was they said Joe Rogan endorsed RFK over Trump, but I'm not quite sure that's what happened. I think Joe came out and said that he didn't endorse RFK, and he gave Trump praise at the same time. Because when you're talking about endorsement, that's a very specific thing. You can say you like somebody and what they do, but that's not necessarily an endorsement. I'm gonna play what Joe Rogan said, and then we can kind of figure it out from there.
That's just what they do.
And pardon me, I might not be able to show the video because it is Joe Rogan, but I'll play the audio for you guys, and then we get to the calls.
That's just what they do. That's politics. They do it on the left. They do it on the right. They gaslight you. They manipulate you. They promote narratives. And the only one who's not doing that is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
You a fan?
Yeah, I am a fan. Yeah, he's the only one that makes sense to me. He's the only one that he doesn't attack people. He attacks actions and ideas, but he's much more reasonable and intelligent. I mean, the guy was an environmental attorney and cleaned up the East River. I mean, he's a legitimate guy. You know, before anybody started calling him an anti-vaxxer, which I thought he was too. I thought he was this nut, this like conspiracy theorist nut, until I read his book. I read The Real Anthony Fauci, and I'm like, what is – how much of this is real? Because if it's all real, this is fucking insane, and we live in a world where we're being manipulated by these health organizations.
So you get the idea. I mean, there's more, but he's basically just talking about how he likes RFK. But it wasn't an endorsement. He didn't say, I'm Joe Rogan, I endorse RFK for president. He didn't say that. He was just talking about how he likes him. So I think Trump took that as an endorsement and then said that Rogan's going to get booed at UFC. I think Trump overreacted. I think he overreacted to what Joe Rogan did, because Joe has not been mean to Trump or negative to Trump. He's been fair to everybody. And I think it's okay to be fair to somebody, even if it's to your opponent. Like if I'm Trump and then somebody that I think is like an ally maybe says a nice thing about somebody else, that's not necessarily a slight against me. It's just him being honest about the guy that he sees. All right. So yeah, shout out to Joe Rogan and PDT, Trump, and who else? And RFK Jr. All right. Oh, one more thing before we continue.
And eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Word. As what we're going to do, Kamala, we're going to just take Donald Trump's campaign talking point. For real. That's crazy.
And eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Word. That's what we're going to do. And you know what? I pretty much already make it to where they can't tax tips, because when I tip, it's always in cash. I will only carry cash on me if I'm going to a restaurant and I want to give a tip. I'll pay to check on the card, get my little points or whatever, and I won't put an actual tip on the check. I'll just put cash right there. And I'll put it right in their hand. I'll be like, yo, take that. Put it in your pocket. Don't claim it after IRS. Taxation is theft. Keep that. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell the bar. Just put it in your pocket. Take it home to your family. That's what I'm gonna say. How about that? If I'm a tip, I'm gonna tip the way I want to tip. How about that? If the expectation is I should tip at a restaurant, which I'm not mad at, I'm gonna tip how I see fit. Take that money, put it in your pocket. Don't tell nobody. But anyway, if you like what you hear, you know what to do. We got super chats on deck, or did I get them all? Yeah, I got everybody. So now let's get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email in the description if you want to call that way. If it don't work right, don't blame me, blame the white man, because it ain't my fault. Y'all know how it do. Yeah, tipping in cash always. I am not letting the federales just take my money and take it. Look, I'm not giving the IRS no money more than what I have to. They're already getting my money from this tax and that tax and that tax and that tax. No, I draw the line when it comes to the tips. You're going to get this money right in your pocket. Don't tell nobody. Yes. All right, let's go here. Let me get my sound together and we'll get to the calls. All right, I think that'll do it. Let's go. 336 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Rebecca, how you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm good.
All righty. So,
Trump's plane had to be diverted because of mechanical issues yesterday. I just thought you would like to look into that.
Yeah, somebody was saying that in the chat earlier, but I didn't know anything about it. That's crazy. So you think they're not done trying
Yes.
to? You think they're not done trying to get him out of here?
Something like that.
Yeah.
He had to take a private plane to on a couple, on the rest of the way, and he did his rally. So he didn't stop, and he didn't do word for word that he'd done the day before. So he's got my vote.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, ain't no question about that.
No question.
Right
But
on.
yeah, that's I just thought you wanted to look into that because it was mechanical issues.
Okay, I will look into that and see what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about that. That's weird. I mean, these people, man, but we already knew this was going to happen. We already saw all this kind of stuff coming. It's not really a surprise to many of us. 262, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
CJ.
All righty, what's going on?
Not much. So did you just play that Joe Rogan thing?
Yes.
Yeah, that guy confuses me.
Why so?
I don't know. I call him Joe Rogan because he's all bald and whatnot, and he's a bully. And then his guy, whatever, Kennedy, I don't listening to him is like listening to Whoopi Goldberg, or you know what I mean, or like I want to hear it. I want to hear their voice for 4 seconds. And then that guy, he contemplated getting what was that guy? The pro football guy, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, rumor was he was going to get Aaron Rodgers to be his vice president. You see what I'm saying?
You talking about RFK?
Yeah, I heard on my smorgasbord circuit boards that he was trying to get Aaron Rodgers to be vice president. He contemplated it.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been a good idea.
No, hell no. So that white boy, he goes out with Danica Patrick, right?
The white boy.
You know what I mean?
The white boy. Who are you talking about?
Yeah, like how Aaron Rodgers. He was dating this mildly impressive NASCAR driver named Danica Patrick. I mean, and then I'm getting shamed for white privilege when they're just rolling in the dough, bro. You know what I mean? Like, couldn't you get like a little peasant girl or something? You know what I mean? I mean, now
a peasant girl. Are we in the fiefdom or something? A peasant girl?
Yeah. You know, why do the rich people always date other rich people when it's like another race of people? They're the same color once they get that weird with the money. You know what I mean? I swear to God, we could create another race. I don't know how many races there are. I don't know how to define it. But Jesus Christ, how is that possible? You know what I mean? There's no Cinderella story there. I just don't get it. There's no way in hell. And then those Kennedys, there's like 4 of them. These are white people that we've seen in government our whole lives. Right?
But why is their race important?
Oh, because they're pro football players, and they put that big thing up that says stop racism. So then okay, I want to stop racism, so how do I define racism? Well, how do you define people with 80 gazillion, fulfillion, bajillion dollars?
All right, sir.
You know what I mean?
Sir, have a nice night. Have a nice night. All right. We're not going that I was trying to let him just turn the corner and, land his plane and make a cogent, but it was just kind of going on. It was a bowl of spaghetti with no meat or nothing in it. It was just noodles for no reason. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 313. You don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
What's going on, Anthony? It's your fire medic buddy up in Michigan.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, brother. So just calling in about the old Tim Walz military record situation. So Angry Cops did a great video this morning breaking everything down about his falsification of sergeant major rank. And now I don't know if you've seen it, but this guy for years has been claiming to have been a sergeant major in a unit deployed overseas, and even went and beyond and created challenge coins for his own give out when he was in the Congress with a clear E9 rank sitting on the front. So the issue is coming up where his date of service doesn't line up with how he went to the supposed school. So he signed a 6-year enlistment in 2001, which would have put him out in 2007 or 2006. So when he was selected for sergeant major school, that was in 2004. Now, in order to attain the rank of sergeant major, you have to not only complete the school, which is a 2-year school, but you also have to serve in the stature of a sergeant major, whether it be commanding or just regular sergeant major, because there's a support version and there's the actual troop leading version. He discharged himself, obviously, prior to that 2-year obligation. So there's no way that he is able to claim the rank of sergeant major if his military obligations didn't fulfill that obligation. So that's where he's getting called out, and that's a big problem in the veteran community, obviously, for us.
Right. I totally understand how that would be a problem for sure.
So it's going to be real interesting to see him try and defend this, back and forth out in the limelight, because it's real, interesting for all these years that he was out in Congress, he was able to portray this, but now he put himself in the major political spotlight. It's going to be real interesting to see how long this has been going on.
Right. Absolutely.
So, but that's it for me, ABL. Just wanted to toss that little tidbit in there just to let everybody know that not only are running a presidential candidate who's, full of everything she ever says, but now the VP candidate is swiftly right behind her. So, way to go, Democrats.
Right, exactly, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, you take care, ABL. Good night, guys.
All right, great call. Shout out to him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. 203, you don't line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, can you hear me?
I heard you well.
Okay, yeah. All right. So this is my first time calling in. I'm a huge fan. I'm calling in from New York City, and I can relate to you a little bit in that I grew up in a liberal area surrounded by a lot of Democrats. I didn't grow up in New York City, but I've been watching a lot of Black conservatives on YouTube, and you all say the same thing. That like the tactics that the Democratic Party does is trying to keep you on the plantation, right? And they do the same thing with women. Is that instead with us, it's like keep us in the abortion clinic, and they're constantly trying to tell women, it's kind of this attitude, you're nothing without us, you can't possibly vote for another party, Myself, I've always voted third party or conservative. I've never voted for anybody liberal, but I can tell you that in New York City, I don't feel or see much support for Kamala Harris. The whole thing is like AstroTurf. I even go to the iHeart New York stores, and you can see Trump t-shirts there, like the Never Surrender, the mugshot. I see kids wearing Trump mugshot tees in Manhattan. Nobody is excited for Kamala. It's just a complete, it's just like I said, an AstroTurf campaign. So it's all fake, and I know people who they're not passionate about it. They're not excited. And I'm like, why are you voting for the same party again and again and again? And they're just, they're brainwashed. They're just trapped in whatever mindset, they grew up in. And I've referred so many friends to your channel, to other channels, just so that they can, kind of break free and, just start to think out of the box. But your channel's awesome. I've had a lot of my friends turned on to you, and we listen to you every day.
Thank you for your call and your support. I really, really appreciate you.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. All right. 2024.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Thank you.
All right, now, bye. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. 909, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Larry in Arizona.
All righty, what's going on?
Oh, nothing but the rant, and it goes on and on and on.
That's right.
But the main reason why I'm calling is I want everyone out there to take a real hard look at Kamala Harris, because in my estimation, she knows exactly what she's doing. They're playing everybody on the Democrat side, and they're trying to play all the independents. And the end result is that you get this false impression that this woman is an idiot. But take my word for it, she's no idiot. She knows exactly what she's doing, just like Joe Biden did during the campaign, the basement campaign. That was the smartest move he could make, because he knew he had issues. And the longer he stayed in the basement, the more undercover those issues were. And Kamala is very similar in that respect. She knows her weaknesses, so she's not going to allow anybody to penetrate into her weaknesses. If you look at it really hard, there's the whole birther thing. True, she was born in California, but she spent the majority of her time in Canada. She's been brainwashed by the Canadian school system. She's more Canadian than she is American. Her mother's visa had expired at the time that Kamala was born in California. Her father is Jamaican, but there hasn't been anyone that can step up and say any of his relatives were actually black. There are a lot of people in Jamaica that are of mixed race. And for her to call herself an African American is bull. Now, if she wants to say she's a Jamaican American, well, maybe. But I've watched a lot of the independent people on the internet, and a lot of them are saying she's not American black because she hasn't experienced what American blacks have experienced. She was brought up as a person from India. There are so many photos and so many statements that prove that she was brought up as an Indian person, not as a black American.
You're 100% correct. 100% correct. And the main thing is that she spent the formative years of her life in French Canada. So that's a far cry from the U.S. And as a matter of fact, when she went to college, they talk about going to the black college. Well, that was the second college. She actually went to a French Canadian college first. Then she transferred to the black college to get more of that experience, I suppose. But that's not her upbringing at all. And really, the main thing is if she calls herself black, it's kind of a stretch. If she calls herself black, she could easily be Indian or something else. And that's part of the problem, is not being whatever you say you are. Whatever you want to be, biracial, black, Indian, just be that, rather than picking and choosing from day to day.
When she was Attorney General in California, it was a disastrous situation, especially for blacks in California. She prosecuted some people for the smallest darn crimes. I mean, possession of a couple of joints, give me a break. And she put them in prison.
Right.
And now she's trying to say she's a friend to the blacks? I don't think so.
Right on. Absolutely.
But I just wanted to, bring up those points. I realize that the Democrats, like you said before, earlier this evening, they're brainwashed, and the brainwashing has been pretty thorough, and there's very little chance of changing their minds. But it's the people who haven't quite made up their mind yet, like the independents. And there are some rhinos out there that are never Trumpers. They need to really take a hard look and see exactly what's going on.
Very well said. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
You're more than welcome, and thank you for doing your thing, ABL.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. Anonymous
Is that
caller.
a Philly?
Who am I speaking?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Yeah, this is Ivan. How are you, man? How you doing?
It's all good. What's happening?
Hey, man. I got a question for you. So I heard that you mentioned a lot about DEI with, Kamala Harris. You were saying that she's DEI and Katrina Jackson Brown, the Black Supreme Court Justice, the woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DI. Okay, so how do you know the DI though?
Because President Biden, before Kamala was selected to be the vice president, he said that he's going to select a black female to be the vice president. So that's right there. You're trying to be diverse and provide equity and include people into the mix by specifically hiring her or appointing her because she's a black woman. And then the same thing with Ketanji Brown Jackson. And he also campaigns on that. I appointed a black Supreme Court justice. I served under a black president. I have a black vice president. It's all by design. Now, I don't care who gets in. They could be black, white, whatever. But it shouldn't be about your skin color. You shouldn't say, I'm hiring that person because they're black. Because if it was the other way around, he said, well, I'm going to hire a person because they're white, then it would be racist. And rightfully so. It shouldn't be about your skin color. It should be about you as an individual.
So, but are you look at the qualifications of Katrina Brown? Are you look at her qualifications?
What now?
Are you look at her qualifications before she was nominated? Are you look at her qualifications in compared to the other Supreme Court justices?
We're talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson. I'm not sure who else was in the running.
Have you looked at her qualifications?
Well, I know her qualifications, but you asked me a different question first. You changed it. The first question you asked me was, have I looked at it in comparison to the others? Now, I've looked at her qualifications. I know what she is, but I've not looked at the other candidates because I don't know who the other candidates are.
Oh, so the problem that you have, if somebody say, okay, look for me the best black engineer that you can find, and then they're hiring in that particular company, that's problematic for you because they're hiring that person because it's black. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, hiring based on race is racist.
So you don't care if the person can do the job way much better or have more skill than the whites are there.
It don't matter.
Just because it's black.
It don't matter. No. It's not because they're black. It's because they say they're hiring the person because they're black. If you're the best and you're black, then so what? Who cares? If you're the best, excuse me, if you're the best, you're the best. Mm-hmm. But when you say you're going to hire somebody because they're black, that's when the racism comes in. It'd be the same way if you said, I'm going to hire that guy because he's white. It's the same thing. There's no difference.
Well, but there's more whites that are in that field than black.
Excuse me. That is an irrelevant point. The point is you hiring based on race. Excuse me. You're hiring based on race is racist regardless of how you slice it.
So you don't want. So you say they should have never mentioned the race. So you would have said, find me a Supreme Court justice. And they should have never mentioned the race. Get Katrina Jackson because she's just way more qualified than all of them together can't even come close to her resume. So you don't want them to say race. That's your problem.
Hiring based on race is racist. Yes.
No. I'm asking you.
I said. Listen, you're trying to change what I said. I said what I said.
No, I didn't. Excuse
me, sir. Excuse me, sir. I said what I said. Hiring based on race is racist. I'll move on to your next point.
So when you say those things, your videos go viral because I hear all these black conservative Trump supporters saying that they hire a DI, but they don't even know Katrina Brown's resume. Actually, Trump hired the Supreme Court justice that have no federal law experience, and she was hired, but nobody questioned her resume. So
that's irrelevant. It don't matter. Whatever you think somebody's qualifications are, that's your opinion. At the end of the day, what he said, excuse me, I'm not done. Excuse me, quiet. What he said was, I'm going to appoint a black female vice president. Then he said, I'm going to appoint a black female Supreme Court justice. The qualifications of whatnot were not the first thing mentioned. It was the color.
So,
and
but
excuse
don't you
me,
believe
excuse me, that's racist regardless of, that's racist regardless of whether it's because they're a black person, a white person, a Puerto Rican, or a candy stripe.
So you didn't have a problem when Trump said, I'm going to hire a woman to take the position as a Supreme Court justice that he did, and it was a white woman. Do you not have a problem with that?
Well, I'm not really a fan of that either. I'm not a big fan of that, but it's
Oh, so
different.
you're not-
Excuse me.
so you have a problem when they-
That's different than saying you're going to hire a person because of their color. Now you're moving the goalposts. Now, is it okay for him to say that?
I don't have a problem as long as the person can do the job and then she's more well qualified than all of them together.
Yeah,
But-
I'm gonna tell
thankful-
you this. I'm gonna answer the question. I don't like hiring because you're a woman. I don't like hiring because you're black. I don't like any of that. But you're moving the goalposts. So I will answer your question. No, I don't like hiring because of male, female, unless a male is better for the job. If you're talking about becoming a nurse or something like this, women are going to do the job better typically than men because 90% of nurses are women. But if I want you to be on the oil rig or doing some kind of crazy roughneck job, I probably want a man in there. So it all depends.
But you never mentioned, but how come you never make a video of Trump saying that he hired a DI when he hired the white woman to be the Supreme Court justice? That's one of my
See, now you're moving. Now you're all over the place. Now you said something about white. Because my point the whole time has been I'm not a fan of hiring based on skin color. Now you're talking about Trump hired a woman and then you mentioned her race, but he did not mention her race. Now, I don't know anything about this whole thing about he said he was going to hire a woman. I don't even remember that. You're saying that to me right now. I don't even know the whole context. But regardless of what I'm telling you right now, that I don't appreciate that the same way I don't appreciate the whole thing about hiring over color.
Funny, you are funny, man. I know it's the algorithm. I know that you make more money.
But look, you know what? People that are unsuccessful don't understand the way that social media works. You guys think we could just say certain things and go viral. It's not the way it works. You got to actually be talented. You got to actually be entertaining and engaging and informative and intelligent. Because anybody could just go in here and just say random things. But you know what? When I'm talking, can nobody hear you? So be quiet. You can't just come out here and just say random things and go viral. That's not how it works. Because if that was the case, you could become a millionaire right now, Ivan, and make all the money in the world, but you can't, can you?
So the algorithm goes up when they say this is the problem.
Look, you have no idea. That's not how it works at all. That's not how it works. You have no idea what you're talking about.
No.
That's not how things go. That's not how things operate. You don't understand what you're talking about. You should just not even talk about that. Talk about what you know about. Whatever you're interested in, talk about that.
Something before I hang up.
Go ahead.
So people believe when they say DEI, they say that the person of color is not qualified for the job because Candy Owen said, if I see a black pilot, I will be scared because DEI. And they say, and she never said, it's not against you, but I'm just telling you how her algorithm goes because she got like 10 million views.
Candace Owens, listen. Candace Owens is already famous. So what you're talking about with that,
so the algorithm gotta keep going to make money, right?
That's not how it works at all. You don't understand.
So
you have no clue what you're saying.
When the white cop shoot the black woman and he's unqualified, fight for 4 different police departments, is not DEI?
It's not how was it DEI? how was it DEI? Explain how it's DEI.
Because they say DEI is inclusion. So pretty much what you said. No, this is not you, but I'm
no. Explain. Answer it. Listen. Just be quiet for a second. Just stop. Now the question I have for you. Just stop or just stop or hang up right now.
So how can
just
I
shut your pie hole for a second, sir. All right. You know what? That's enough. Have a good night. Now, as I was going to answer, how is he talking about DEI with this bad cop? Like, was he hired because he was a white male? Did they come out and say, we're going to look for a white male to fill this job? It doesn't matter who he is. In that case, what happened was you had an unqualified cop because there's too few cops who want to go out there and do that kind of work. You know, you got a slim pickings, you understaffed. So you're picking any old guy off the street. That's kind of what happened with that situation. Not because he's white, it's because he was available. In the case of Ketanji Brown Jackson and Kamala Harris, they were appointed because they were black. Now, if it was because they were white and that was vocally said, then nobody would stand for it. Everybody would say it was a racist thing. Correct? I'm not a fan of that. That's what I don't like. 515, you don't line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, my name is Chad.
All righty, what's going on?
Yeah, I would like to speak to ABL, please.
You're speaking to me right now, boss.
Oh, my God. Okay, great. Listen, I think a lot of people are missing the point. The point is this. If you can remember history, if you remember the old-time coal mining towns, right, where you would be born in a certain area and, you know, white or black, whatever, you were just born there. And what these elites would do is they would set up a town, give you a house, let you have little bitty babies, but you had to work in the coal mine, right? And so I think that's what they want back. These people want this back, where you are forced to go to the coal mining town, to the store, to buy everything you need, right? But you're always slightly in debt to the coal mining town, right? Because that's where you live. I think that's what they want. And so I just thought I'd bring that up. Thank you, ABL.
Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. That's a really good point. You're talking about, you know, the old coal mining towns, West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio. Well, Kentucky, Pennsylvania a little bit. Western Virginia, where they gotta, you go to these coal mining towns and you pay with a thing with this, they got their own currency called script in the coal mining place. You go to the store, everything's in this small little town. That's your whole purpose. You go coal mine, have a little family, whatever. Okay, you have a little small house next to the mine, and then the executives of a bigger house next to the mine. That's kind of how it was. So they might want that whole thing for the country, where they are able to control you a lot easier. That's what the 15-minute cities, things of this nature, no cars, keeping you right there. Okay, let's keep on going here. 631, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Mary.
All righty, what's going on?
My question is, why are you not really upset with the whole Joe Rogan thing and how he's supporting RFK?
I think he was just saying nice things about him, but he didn't endorse him.
That he didn't endorse him?
No.
That's the impression I got.
He didn't endorse him, because he even came out and said later that he didn't endorse him. He was just saying nice things about him, the same way that he was saying nice things about Trump. That was it.
Oh, yeah. It sounded more like a support of him, an endorsement. Because, you know, if it's getting close in the race, to me, my opinion, RFK should just go. Goodbye, drop out. You're not going to win. He's a distraction to getting those Trump votes that Trump might need if it's going to be a neck and neck. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so that was just my point to that. I just feel like RFK is a distraction right now. And if it's coming down to like a close race between Kamala and Trump, we might need those votes that RFK gets.
Do you think that
How do you think
RFK
about that?
do you think RFK would take more from Trump or from Kamala?
Well, if you got someone like Joe Rogan, you know, that has a big audience, and you know, that's again, you have people that are famous that are endorsing people, and you know, people get influenced easy, and they'll some of those Trump people that were, you know, listening to Joe Rogan get excited about Trump, they're for Trump, and now he's getting excited for RFK, and now they're gonna maybe go vote for him because Joe Rogan is influencing them. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, hopefully that won't happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hope not. That's all, ABL. You're great. Love you.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
You have a good night.
Same to you now.
Bye.
All right, great calls. Keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to 310. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
What's up, ABL? Thank you for taking my call again. Thank you for handling Ivan.
and put him in his place. Other than that, try to make it real quick. Yeah, DEI, exactly what you said. I love the way you just said it so simply, is, you know, didn't earn it. I don't care what color you are. Do the job. If you can't do the job, you ain't going to get hired. Just plain and simple. That's all I wanted to say, ABL. And then, did you grow any vegetables yet?
I've not grown my vegetables yet, but that's coming soon. I was just thinking about that, actually.
I will personally send you some seeds if that's what it takes.
That'd be great. Well, I got one question for you. Should I get the raised bed, or should I just plant straight on the ground? How should I go about it?
Honestly, I'd have to see your dirt. I guess I'll email you later. I'll go hop on the I'll go hop on the computer and email you later. But it all depends on your dirt. It depends on your humidity.
I have red clay. I have red clay here in like Tennessee, Georgia. This area is red clay.
I'm clayed out a little bit too over here. Just the specific area I am by the coast. Yeah. Like I said on that other call the other week, you just need to start with good dirt, dude. If you start with good dirt, you'll end with good vegetables. So you might just need to invest in some dirt. That's about it.
Right on, man. Well, thank you.
I'll leave you alone, ABL. Thank you for your time, and awesome stream again.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, be over here, like southern, eastern Tennessee. It's all red clay, just like Georgia. You dig up, you can make a whole pot out of what we got to put in this soil. It's crazy. You could take this clay, shape it on a wheel, fire it, and you got a whole bowl. You got some dishes for your cabinet. 434, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Dig up, you can make a whole pot out of it.
434, hello.
It's great. You could put it.
Hello.
Okay, you got a little bit of sound in the background, boss. Can you hear me?
Bowl.
Oh, hi. Yeah.
Turn the stream off in the background for me, please.
I'm sorry. Who am I speaking to?
This is ABL.
Oh, ABL. I was wondering if I could get a voice in.
Okay, first turn the stream off in the background.
I'm sorry?
Turn the stream off in the background.
Oh yeah. Let me go ahead and turn it off. Yeah, just trying to find my remote. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hi.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Not too much, ABL. How are you, man?
It's all good. Can't complain.
I'm so happy to be able to be following you. I've been following you for the longest time. Just never got proactive, I guess. And I heard this guy on the stream just a minute ago. I can't remember his name now, but Ivan and the DEI crap. DEI only came up when the Democrats came into power. We never had that crap before, during Trump's time. And, these people don't understand what meritocracy is. Meritocracy is not about just your color. It's about your ability to perform a job.
Absolutely.
I mean, wouldn't you say that? I know you're saying that.
Yes.
And, it just takes one word. It's meritocracy, dude. This is not about satisfying the minority. We are a majority rule country. And I was born and raised in Southern Africa. I'm a Zimbabwean, legally immigrated to America, educated in America, and raised a family. And I see this, and it's like reliving the past. We did this in Africa, and now we're doing this again here. Let's give up this stuff, and we are all human beings. We just got to live together. And I wish they would do that. I wish these people would send that kind of a message. And you do such a wonderful job, and I've got to give you kudos. You emotionally control yourself very well. And tonight I just had to say something because that Ivan dude, whoever he was, I'm not trying to make a judgment on anybody, but quite honestly speaking, he sounded very well like an immigrant like me. So I don't get these people who come over here. I believe that they just not they indoctrinated, in the system, but they're not integrated.
Right.
And it's so sad to see that. I wish, everybody talks about immigration and all that kind of crap. You know what? Seal the border, put a moratorium on this crap, of anybody going anywhere that you want to go and, open borders everywhere. I mean, people don't understand because the media doesn't even expose what's going on even in Europe. The West is under attack. And it's not a bullets and bombs war. This is about, a destruction of our social economic system. People stay poor, and we can't give them an opportunity to come up. I just don't get it, and I just bless you for the amount of work that you do, because you put in a lot of work and a lot of effort. People don't understand what it takes to run something like what you're doing, and it doesn't matter. You're sitting or doing something that's worthy of your time and effort, because it doesn't. It takes a lot of effort to run a podcast like you do. And God bless you, man, because I'm a Virginian, and I'm just assuming that you still are. And I just wanted to say kudos and God bless you, dude.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bud.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Shout out to him in Virginia by way of Zimbabwe. 407. I guess I was too late to hang up. Okay, let's go to. All right. 215 hit on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, ABL? This is New Reconstruction.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, I wanted to let you know, man. I'm voting for Trump because of school choice. Now, he was in there the last time. I voted for him the last time, but obviously we didn't get it. I'm not clear on what he has to do or what he needs in order to get that done, but I really believe that we need school choice. But there's a lot of talk in the conservative spectrum about the black family. And I'm always curious why, nobody is running on repealing and replacing the family court. I mean, Trump, he actually got a lot of experience in family court and divorce court or whatever the case may be. So I'm thinking that'll be a good idea, especially when we want to reform the black family, because we all up in there. That's pretty obvious. Now, the main thing I want to ask you about is the whole DEI and affirmative action thing, because you was kind of just on that topic a minute ago. Why do we dismiss the whole Jim Crow era with that? Because that was just not too long ago. And I mean, if you're familiar with the guy named, and I know you don't like reparations either, but Kenneth Deardorff, in 1988, he got 120 acres of land because he's a descendant of slave owners through the Homestead Act. So that's Kenneth Deardorff. That's a real person. It wasn't that long ago, in 1988. That's the most recent recipient. So I say that to say this. Why are you opposed to trying to even out things among people who are qualified? But if you have a master's degree, let's just use this for example. You're a white guy, white woman. You have a master's degree. But this job actually requires a bachelor's. And I only have a bachelor's. But if they hire you, it'll be one too many white people. Well, isn't that the same thing? Because we're both qualified. and you don't really need a master's to be here. So we're just going to hire the black person to fit the quota. I don't have a problem with that because of Jim Crow.
So hold on 1 second. So you don't mind the lesser qualified person getting the job over the more qualified person because of Jim Crow?
Exactly.
So how about hold on. I got you. Hold on 1 second. I got you. So how about when it comes to things like, you know, flying the airplane, you don't mind somebody being less qualified to fly your airplane that you're going to be in?
As far as flying an airplane, one would only difference would be one has more hours of flight than the other one, because there are no pilots.
I understand.
There are no pilots that are flying that are not qualified to fly.
Okay, so there you know there are some that are better than the other. So you don't mind the lesser qualified pilot being able to fly the plane over the more qualified pilot that you're going to be in. If you had to select, like if you had a choice before you fly, and they say, hey, you can pick one or two pilots that are going to fly your plane. The guy who is very qualified, rock solid, he's going to get the job done 100%. Here's the other guy. He can fly a plane, but he's new. He's not really that qualified. Who would you pick and why?
Well, let me preface my answer. I'm going to answer definitely really directly, but I'll preface my answer by saying there are a lot of people who just graduated flight school, for example, and they might have went to a better, more credible flight school, but there's somebody who didn't go to that prestigious flight school who has more experience, who maybe knows how to fly this type of plane specifically. I mean, there's a lot of variables that we can't really get into because it got to be case by case, obviously, but I understand where you're coming from. Now, if somebody is more qualified, obviously we want the more qualified person if we can choose. But my point is, we have experienced Jim Crow, and as long as the person is qualified, on their first day, they have no experience, no matter what flight school they went to, is the reason why I made that point earlier. No matter what flight school they went to, these are two people who have never flown professionally on the first day. So as long as you know how to fly the plane and you both have passed whatever you definitely had to pass in order to get behind that in that cockpit, because we know there are no pilots who are flying commercially or privately
for time. I'm
who are not qualified.
Yeah, I got you, but
you do know that, though, right?
So your answer was your answer to my question was you want the more qualified person, right?
I want
It's like you got two choices. Which one?
It doesn't matter.
So wait a minute now. Wait a minute. See now. I thought you were going to be honest with me. You just said you're going to answer the question directly. Now you're not answering. You said you're going to answer it directly. Now you're not.
I did. No, I did.
So what's the answer?
I just explained that both
So which one?
pilots are qualified.
So which one? I'm saying you got to pick. Like they're saying you have to pick. You can't just say it. You have to pick. Which one?
I want a qualified.
Man, at the end of the day, you know the answer. You know the answer to the question.
Qualified.
So to answer your question earlier, you were asking me why am I against DEI, things of this nature? It's because I want the best person to fly the plane. I don't care nothing about nothing. Give me the best. And I in the same way. Hold on, just 1 second. In the same way with business, if I'm in business and I'm in charge of hiring and firing, I want the best because I want to make the most money and be the most successful because I want these people that I'm employing to continue to have jobs. I need the competitive edge to have the best. You have competitors in the field to do the same thing I do. So if I'm hiring the less qualified person to do a task and they're hiring the better qualified person, they're getting the advantage over me. Why would I give that to my opponent? Why would I give that to my competitor? So I can make less money all in the name of trying to atone for Jim Crow? To me, it doesn't make any sense. If I'm a black person, hold on, I'm almost finished. If I'm a black person, if I'm black
in this, I got a little delay.
Yeah, but just turn the stream off. If I am a black person and I want the best for me and my family in this country, and my family been here since the boat. I can trace it all the way back to the 1700s in this country. We've been here for a very long time. why wouldn't I do the best thing for myself and my family? It doesn't make any sense because I am benefiting me, my family, all these black people around me in the best way possible. And to me, that's why I'm against it. I don't see how it makes sense to go with the worst person because of their skin color or to go with somebody because of their skin color at all. I'm all about getting the best.
I think it's a false equivalency because you're actually acting as though the people who are being hired are not qualified. There may be somebody else who's applied for that same job, but they are not unqualified, or they would not be a candidate for the position.
I ain't say that. I said there's better. There's levels. I want the best.
Then it's a moot point. It's a moot point.
Huh?
I mean, you want the best. But
what does that? What does that mean?
Across the spectrum.
What does that mean? The moot point. What does that mean?
Of all the industries.
My man, what does that mean? The moot point. What does that mean?
It means you keep saying you want the best, but the best is one person. So all the other people, there's a hierarchy, and I understand what you're saying. If I could pick between Joe Blow and Joe Blow, I don't know, 2.0, you're going to go with 2.0. Got it. But on any given flight, to use your example, the pilot is going to be qualified to fly.
I understand. I get your point, but
that's all I need.
I got your point, boss.
That's all I need.
I got your point, but we're at the end of the show, man. Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Jim Crow.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Same thing. No, I don't have any problems.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it. All right. Shout out to you. I was trying to be nice. Like, thank you for the call. Just keep on talking, huh? Just like, forget my intro. Forget my exit. I'm going to just keep on. Make my point. But shout out to you, man. I appreciate the call. But that's going to be a wrap for me tonight. I thank y'all for joining. You guys are the best anywhere on these interwebs. Shout out to you guys for being here. Yeah, man. At the end of the day, you want the best of the best. When you're talking about a basketball team, if you can pick, okay, you got free agents, right? It's a great example. I love basketball. You got free agents. These guys are not on teams. They're not on contract. They're available to be signed. Now, you have the ability to sign a prime Michael Jordan, a prime LeBron James, a prime Kobe Bryant, prime Shaq, prime Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, everybody. You get the chance to to sign these guys on free agency. So you know they're good. They're dedicated pros. They're in their prime. Why would you, let's say, for example, you got the ability to sign a prime Larry Bird, 80 Celtics, prime Larry Bird, and then there is some bench warmer, some Smush Parker, somebody you never heard of before. Oh, I'm gonna pick the scrub, the end of the bench guy because he's black, and Larry Bird is white. What? Why would you do that? This is Larry Bird, like the unstoppable force in the NBA. Because he's white, you're gonna pass him up. Why would you do that? And at a certain point, you can't even do that if you are in charge of hiring and firing. You can get maybe even arrested for that because you're not fulfilling your judiciary responsibility. Like, you can't just do whatever you want to do. I mean, you shouldn't be able to do whatever you want to do. And if it was your business, you want the best of the best if you have them available. Why would you pick a black guy over a white guy just because the guy is black if the white guy is vastly more skilled? And what's going on also with DEI as I close up with college admissions. So they are accepting of black and Hispanic students with lower test scores, with lower grade point averages, who come from less strenuous high school environments academically. They're bringing those guys on to higher education, and then the Asians specifically, and white guys too, but more than anything, the Asians are being pushed out, who are these Asians are super smart, dedicated from a young age, multi-talented, multilingual, all that stuff. They get pushed to the side because they want more black and Hispanics rather than whites and Asians. The race-based admissions and all of that, I don't like. We were talking about judge by the content of the character, not color of the skin. No discrimination, segregation, all of that we were against. But what's happening right now is the exact same thing we did back then, but it's to other people. And I don't think it's right, regardless of who it happens to. But yeah, shout out to my man. No, that was a good call. Good call. But yeah, let's please get the best people in there. If you could pick, okay, a junior pilot, little to no experience, and a rock solid veteran in the air, perfect record, everybody loves him, wife and kids be at the airport with balloons and flowers. It ain't no contest, man. Come on. All right. But that'll be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys for being here. Really appreciate you. Shout out to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chat, and I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I really, really appreciate that as well. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms at 8 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. That's going to be on Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All right. I have more super chats here. I'll read those right quick. Then I wrap it on up and put the bow clean on top. Thank you to, who are we talking to? Thank you to KK Brunson for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Septa Miles Davis, who says, a Trump-hating Democrat surprised me by saying Obama didn't do anything for black people. And she's an older black woman that doesn't like Trump. Very, very interesting. Thank you to Calvin, who says, Anthony, if you had to choose living in New York or California, which one and why? Love your show. Thank you for that. Now, this is a hard question. And a disclaimer, I wouldn't live in either place, really. But California, and it wouldn't even be close. I would live in California before New York. And the reason why, I don't like the cold weather. I'm not really with it. I like the beach. I like the sun. I like being outside and not having to put on 10,000 layers of clothes. I'm just not with the cold weather. Really, I probably would never leave the southern United States. If, like, in the U.S., I would go somewhere else, maybe, and live later. But as far as where I live, southern United States, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, maybe even as far as Texas, maybe even like a Louisiana, not Louisiana, maybe even Arizona, but I might be a little bit too far west. You're getting into the California territory and you're getting into all this crazy weather. I don't like the dry heat. I like humidity. I'd rather it be 100 degrees with 100% humidity instead of 45 degrees, raining, and just like free out of Washington, that kind of overcast kind of, I don't like that. That's not really what I like. Like today where I live, it was perfect. Like 95 degrees, the sun's right on you. It feels great. It feels great. I love it. Yeah, it's too hot in Arizona. So is it on New Mexico better? Yeah. But what's out there? Breaking Bad, meth labs, like what's out in New Mexico? I don't want to be stereotypical, but what's out there? Now, I like El Paso. I love El Paso. Like, that was great, but I've not been in a while, so hopefully the migrants have not torn it up too bad. When I was there, loved it. Totally loved it. Thank you to Calvin again. Oh, and then also, like, the Carolinas, of course, North and South Carolina, Virginia, maybe the southern part of Virginia, but even back in Virginia, it's a little difficult because you got cold weather up there, too. In the wintertime, it starts snowing for some reason out of the blue. I ain't like that too much. And I also didn't like being exposed to the ocean because of the hurricanes and stuff like that. But anyway, that's a different story. Thank you to Brock MIT, who says, great show. I hope Chicago police officer friend is okay. Yeah, shout out to my retired Chicago police officer friend. Hopefully everything's all right with your boss. Okay, you got fans in the chat waiting on you. So hopefully everything's okay. All right. Hold on. Shout out to Steve Kerfuffle, great name, who says, yeah, it's always 10 degrees cooler. I live 30 minutes from El Paso. We had better nature and mountains than El Paso. Well, hey, man, I might need to go out to where you are, man. I love like the mountains and the nature, just being able to be outside and being able to enjoy it, going on a hike or something like that. I love it. But what I'm not trying to do is traipse in snow, getting my socks and my shoes wet, being snowed in. I don't like it. Down here where I'm at, you have the mountains, but it doesn't really snow. Now, if you go up like Knoxville and the Smoky Mountains, you'll get snow up there, but it's just super high elevation. Down here where I'm at, it's kind of a valley. You got hills and small mountains, It's perfect. It's a perfect balance of a warm climate, cooler in the winter. The weather's not extreme. It's perfect. Thank you to Series A5274 who says, talking about race is a tactic used to divide us by mainstream news and to keep people emotionally charged up. Right on. And thank you to Kat Randall for becoming an ABL supporter. I most certainly appreciate y'all. All right. Well, that'll be a wrap for me, you guys. I will be back live on Wednesday, but I'm here all the time throughout the week putting out pre-recorded videos. And also, please subscribe to Uncle ABL. Please do so. I just put a video out recently about home ownership, the pros and the cons. How much is it going to cost? It was a young lady talking about how she got a mortgage that was $1,800, and then it rose because of taxes and insurance to $2,200 in about 3 years' time, and it's becoming unaffordable. Unaffordable with that amount of increase. And my point in the video was, if that makes it unaffordable, $400 more a month, you weren't really ready, especially if you've not done any serious maintenance on your home. But again, that video right there is on the Uncle ABL channel, and I got a lot more coming up here pretty soon. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.